Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Singularity. Shadowman. Fire in the ball. Absolutely. Welcome in, Skull. How you doing? Yeah, we got hit with a video that was shared yesterday, probably during the day. It's all good. I'm not upset or anything. Just 7 days we'll be able to broadcast. The strike will stay on the account till March or some shit. But yeah. Ugh. We only got the one, so it's not so much. Ugh. Brr. It's cold as shit. Ugh. Yeah, I don't. I know it wasn't when we were doing the evening show, but must have been something during the day. They said that copyright infringement for a video called, or it was by Greg Kelly, "Fake Cop Joins Fake News." I don't know. It must have been something, Fox or something, I guess, maybe. But in any case, whoever, I'm not even sure who Greg Kelly is, but yeah, there was a video that was played that we got the strike for. Uh, but it's all good. We got backups. We'll be back up in a week. And hey, what's up? What's up, Don?
I'm just adjusting the volume. Stand by.
Okay.
So I was broadcasting TV today.
It was
So if
yesterday.
there's a strike, it's me.
It was
Let's be
yesterday.
clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg Kelly? First,
Greg.
after you told me that, I never do Fox. So I don't do any more Fox anymore. What I've
Okay.
been sticking with is One America, OAN, and Newsmax.
Okay.
Um, no Fox. And I don't
Right.
know how Greg Kelly got in there. He may be an OAN guy, maybe a Newsmax guy. I don't know.
Let me. I'll just search it out here. Uh, I didn't look at
If
it.
that's the case, dude, it's me. I'm sorry.
Uh, oh, it's it's on
Motherfucking
Newsmax.
motherfuckers.
It's a Newsmax thing.
Newsmax.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. He's Newsmax.
What a cocksucking piece of shit. Now I won't watch Newsmax.
Right.
All right, just can I use OANN? It looks like
Yeah.
OANN is the only one that actually works worth the fuck.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Today I played Andy Griffith. What is it? What's the name of the show? Mayberry or
Right. Yeah. The Andy Griffith Show.
so right, the Andy Griffith show from TV Land channel.
You should be
Um,
okay with that. That's a public
think
thing, I think.
I would have thought that Andy Griffith was old as I am, so it's got to be out of fucking copyright somewhere. But
Right? Well, we'll figure it out.
dude, I'm sorry. I apologize profusely. It had to have been me. I know it was me.
Well, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. It's only one strike, and we'll have it back in 7 days. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. But
Fucking shit.
it's it is what it is, man. We're not trying to monetize over it or nothing, you know. Not we don't have an audience big enough for them to be worried about. It's just the AI thing. And yeah, so Newsmax is off the list too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Newsmax would be freer than OANN, but I guess not.
No, that's you know who owns that, don't you? Bill Crystal. Democrat fucktard. Yeah. Yep.
Newsmax?
Newsmax. Yep. Bill Crystal's a big owner on that. He's a big fucktard. That's why I was so surprised when everybody was going to Newsmax. I was like, wait a minute, that's a leftist organization just monopolizing on the bullshit.
Now
I
that
was like,
now that
huh?
you mention him, I have heard of him, Mr.
Yeah,
Crystal. Yes.
yeah, he's a fucktard, man. He's a piece of shit.
Okay. All right. We're getting there.
Yeah, it's all good. I ain't worried about it. You know, we got backups, some backups, and right. And it didn't.
So,
It didn't touch. It didn't touch Sick Pat's channel. So we're still up on Sick Pat.
is this a YouTube hit or a
Yeah, YouTube.
okay?
See, look, because I just brought it up in the news. There's Sick Pat canoes in the game on Twitch. So we're good to go.
Hello, chat, Shadow Man, Skull, Canoes, and of course, always my platoon brother.
Oh, we're on
Hmm.
Canoes YouTube channel. That's what that's on. That's where that came
Hmm.
from. Canoes isn't on yet.
Seeing what's going on. So we were over on the Tires channel, right? Earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, there's talk of Young Zoom's. Let's just say Young Zoom's. What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, uh, fuck. Hormones. Young Zoom's hormones are flaring up a lot recently. You know this, right?
Right. Right.
So I took the liberty of putting together a GoFundMe for Young Zoom's hormones. We were
Right.
discussing we were
Right.
discussing how we were going to get Zoom to a lot and get a lizard attached to him, if you know what I mean.
Getting some companionship.
Exactly.
Hey, Nightingale, welcome in.
Nightingale, hey, how are you? So yeah, what do you think there, Shadow Man? You think we ought to? So anyway, that's it. I've put together a GoFundMe. Um, hold on for a second. La 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 la. I'm feeling very holiday, very holiday.
But you,
Fa la
I
la
was
la.
trying to. The original Chrome browser isn't allowing you to share sound
No,
when you
I'm
do
not
full
using
screen.
Chrome. Are you
Oh,
talking to
okay.
me?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you use the share screen on here on StreamYard inside the Chrome browser, and we all we got to do is get your. I mean, if you copy the link from
Dude,
the other
that's
browser to the Chrome browser, it should put you in.
that's the problem. We know this is the problem. I just don't. I'm not signed in with Chrome right now. I'm signed in with Firefox.
Right, but if you sign in, copy the and then don't touch anything. Copy that link into
Yes,
your Chrome browser,
Chrome.
and it
No,
doesn't let you
it
sign in.
it will say it will let me click on the email address, and then it'll need a code.
Okay, that's
Stand
just
by.
all you got to do. Is
Stand by.
let me know. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And
So this is Young Zoom's GoFundMe.
oh, okay, cool.
Click on there. I got kind of artistic with the images.
Artistic with the images, but yeah. Oh man.
Best idea ever. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody recognizes the genius. Thank you, Shadow Man. You just went upstairs in the notches there, brother. Truly a leader among men. I can see it.
Although he's in Canada, so
You know what? And again, I got a T-shirt. You can't always blame Canada for this shit.
well, it's the
Hey, I'm
definite.
married Canadian. Remember, I'm
Well,
married
yeah,
Canadian.
but being in Canada is definitely a stumbling block for him. You know.
Yeah, okay. All right, it's temporary. It's
Yeah.
temporary.
Right.
Temporary stumbling block, I'm thinking. But yeah, I
Right.
think did you see it? Did you look at it? You should look at it. It's cute.
Okay, let me go over here. I'm gonna have to go to Twitch, get the link.
Whatever you're saying, he doesn't understand. That's right, he's Canadian. He doesn't understand English.
All right.
Well, hi there, fun director. Welcome to the show.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. I like that. That's very diplomatic language there.
Right? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get the job done, right? They threw the task out at somebody, and I said, okay, I'll take it.
Oh, the Zach one or Zach? Yeah.
Yeah. I just trying to
Right.
get the job done. That's all.
We
Right?
are putting together a GoFundMe project to deliver a life changing experience to a very dear friend. There you
That's
go.
one way of putting it.
Right.
That's a very discreet way of putting it. Oh, Ray, hey,
Discreet. You know
Carp.
what?
Hey, everybody.
Discretion's my middle name.
Nice.
Ho, 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 ho. Uncle Don. Just a tip from your Uncle Don. Oh, the other Don. Uncle Don. Don Martin, the real Don. Don Martino. Dude, man, you got no hair. Everybody ever tell you you were fucking bald?
I ain't doing much better here. I
Well,
got
I
a
ain't doing no better either, but I can say it.
right.
He just pops that
So,
chrome dome up on the screen here, and it's all light and everything there, and it just kind of got bright. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
so
I don't even think he knows we're talking about him.
Welcome in Cam and Washburn Billy, Mako, Ragged Coin, Piece of Punk
everybody.
Rock,
We
Fun
got a
Director.
raid.
Yes, we got raided. Rock on, Carpenter Patriot, my brother. Goliath,
Hi,
Bruce.
Nightingale.
Bruce, my brother. You know
I'll
what?
just
I
say
ain't that
hello,
much older
everyone.
than you, Bruce. So watch out, brother. I ain't that much older. He keeps thinking I'm old as Methuselah. He's like, yeah, Don's got to be the oldest motherfucker walking around on the planet today. I was like, yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
Hi, Miriam.
Miriam Washburn, how are yous?
Hey, Miriam. Miriam! Damn it. What's up?
I 30 years old or 130 years old? Dina Marie, welcome into the stream.
Yes, welcome in. Welcome in, Don Martineau. I tell you.
So, uh, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
Oh, so I'm going to start off the topics if y'all don't mind. Um, I one of the things that's always bugged me is people inferring that advancing in education through college it brings automatically more all around intelligence. And I even heard John Kennedy in a speech that he was making even infer this. And it frustrates me that the fact that a lot of people believe that. And my problem is, you know, okay, it's going to make them more intelligent in the specific thing they go to college for, but it's not going to be all or make them all around more intelligent, because all of us, everybody, um, no matter, like, if you took up a trade, you didn't go to college for it, you took up a trade, you're constantly using your brain, you're constantly working to learn. So that's one of those things. What's your guys' opinion on that? Don, I know you have a college education. I'd like to get your opinion as well.
Oh, 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 oh. I really do have an opinion on this. It is my humble opinion that what college does for you is it allows you the time to, under a very disciplined and regimented program, gain knowledge. Knowledge you will need or may not need, but knowledge you'll need to pass their tests to graduate. It's really just that simple. Now, whether or not that knowledge is useful, in engineering schools, I can say that knowledge is useful. In engineering, I went to my degrees in electrical engineering, and so my math, physics, engineering, my operationals, those were all very relevant to what I did. The things that were not, the psychology 101, the fucking ninth grade grammar that I've never been able to. You know what? I suck at grammar, English and lit, and I suck at grammar. I'm terrible at it, and I had a hard time with those. But I digress. It's my humble opinion, mine alone, that you're as smart as you're going to be when you walk in the door. They're just going to give you some facts that you need. And the same smart people that go to college are the same smart people that don't go to college. Some of the smartest motherfuckers I know dropped out of college. Why? College can't keep up with them. They do shit that college ain't right for. College ain't got, listen, you can get math, you can get business, you can get all of that in the first 1, 2, 3 years, or you can buy people that know that shit. If you're really going to turn up a business and do the deal, if you're going to go out there and make waves, then you can buy that talent. And you realize that about sophomore or junior in a 4-year college degree. And so rarely do the savants of the world ever graduate from a disciplined college. Maybe they do later on, but in their crushing days, in their big days when they're moving and shaking, no, they're not college graduates. Most of the smartest motherfuckers I know dropped out of college or dropped out of master's programs or PhD programs because they can't keep up with them. Because the PhD programs can't keep up with the speed of these people's thinking. This is just my opinion. Okay.
No, actually, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, that it's a fact of knowledge, not intellectual capability.
No, you're intellectually as capable as you're going to be when you walk in the door in college. Go ahead. You, the good looking guy in the front there with the fucking camo on. What do you got to say about this?
College is a doorway to information. Information is a doorway. With experience applied to information becomes knowledge. Okay. The colleges will give you the information. You have to apply it to get the knowledge. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you because, I mean, well, I have an associate's degree in paramedicine and I have a bachelor's in business. I was well on my way into. I had all of my mandatory classes for my what do they call that, the main education set for business. I had all of that, and I still had a year and a half of bullshit classes I had to take to get them to give me a
To
piece
get
of
that
paper.
liberal arts fucking side of your quote unquote
Exactly.
balanced college education.
Right.
Here's what I got
Bruce has a
about your
good
balanced college education.
Bruce and Skull and several others in chat have a good point that they learn more actually out
Using your
or
brain on
after
a regular
college.
basis
Oh
helps
yeah.
you get smarter. I agree with that. I do agree
Yes,
that there has to be some talent to begin with, but as much as most things in life, practice does make perfect. And I agree
your
with that
your
1000%.
brain is a your brain is a muscle, so it's like any other muscle. You have to work it to
And
increase
listen,
it.
I work it every day, all year. I have training. I go through specific courses. I literally get a new college education once every 4 years. I really do. Um, and I love it. Absolutely fucking love it. I'm out there on the edge of some of the newest and coolest shit going on. They give me all of the learning, they being corporate. Corporate gives you all the learning opportunities you want. Suck it up, get a biscuit, do it again if you want. Take the test, get the certification. That's what they want you to do.
Right.
Right. They want that
Anyway,
money. They don't give the colleges
well,
want
it
the
is.
fucking money.
Listen, they don't give a fuck about you. Don't get me wrong, but them having a certified you on staff means they look good to analysts, customers, other competitors, etc. Right?
Right.
So they want to look good. Plus, to their vendors, like if I'm a Cisco certified guy, guess what? Because I'm on staff, they get points off of Cisco gear, right? Because they got me on staff. When they got 20 of me on staff, they get more points off of Cisco gear. Same with pretty much every hardware vendor, and now all the cloud vendors, Microsoft, uh, Google, and AWS, Amazon. All of them got big cloud training programs and certification programs going on. When I say they are like the employers, the my employer, the big the Nasdaq 100 or the FTSE 100, the IBMs, the techs, the
Right.
AT&Ts. They encourage everybody to go out and all of their people to go out and get certified, get training. They really do because
See,
it's
and
good for them.
I want to stress that I'm not down talking colleges or anything. I mean, I think college is a
No,
great idea. I think trade school is a great idea for people that want to do it, people that have time. I myself, I've got college credits. I don't have a degree. And I know people call BS on that on me all the time, but I really don't have any type of degree. I just like to read. I like to read books on whatever I can get a hold of. But the fact that like when John Kennedy said, he said, I think a lot of he's like, and both sides can agree that most of our social problems are from our social problems are from people not continuing their collegiate education. And
see, that's just a load of horseshit.
That's a
Really,
horseshit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I really disagree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that when I heard him say that, and I didn't think he'd be one to say it, but he is a lawyer, but it just
Who said that?
John Kennedy of all people.
The Louisiana senator or representative? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
and I love that guy. He's
I
awesome.
love that
But
guy too.
I heard him say it, and I watched a video last night. Emerald sent me a video last night, and then off of that, it
Wow.
brought up another video of his rawest moments. And about halfway through, it's about 45 minutes long. About halfway through that, he says
I
that.
wish I could read. We're not paying attention to chat. You know that?
Oh,
Layer 2
sorry,
and Layer
guys.
3 of the internet. Skull, what are you talking about? You're talking about my shit now. Layer 2, Layer 3 shit.
I got to call
Transport
it.
layer. That's my thing. Fuck the frontier. It's going to be coming up. Server handlers. It's true. Dude, server handlers are the new fucking gods of the world. The cloud directors, the guys that know how to put a cloud together, the guys that know how to put VMs together and call them a fucking network. Those are the new leaders of the world. They really are.
Well, as an adult who went on to continue adult education, one of the things I kind of discovered is that the older students seem to retain the material better. The younger students, it goes in one ear and out the other, and you ask them about their course content 2 weeks after they get done with their finals, and they can't remember a damn thing of what they learned. So they're not retaining. They're not retaining.
Dude, I'm 1,000%. If you're less than 30 years old and you don't really want to be there, then you shouldn't be there consuming the same air as those of us that want to be there.
Well, they're really good at taking tests. Their short-term memory is really keen, but their long-term memory just isn't there.
So to be honest, I'm really good at tests. I am. My short-term memory sucks balls, but I can consume enough information to pour back out onto a test and generally pass it every time.
See, I had to pound this shit into my head. I mean,
I'm great at that. I'm just
You're
good
not
at it. I'm
fucking-
sorry. There's nothing I can do about it.
and
Yeah.
once it gets in my brain, it never leaves. The problem is getting it into my brain. That's just the way I learn. Everybody has a different learning style.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I will say this: my master's degree is an honorary master's degree. I didn't attend a single class, but I taught my students. I taught I didn't call them students. I called them proteges and understudies. You know what I'm saying? Basically, they tested out, and I tested out, and they awarded my honorary master's degree for the work I had already done in networking, and network gaming to be specific. And we had done some charity events using my developments for ALS Foundation, and they put me in for a lifetime achievement award. And all I had to do was test out and pay the $2,000 something to get the registrations and all that stuff done. And everybody tested out, and everything went great. And I ended up with a master's degree, but that was before they had
terrible.
Yeah, they had. I know, right? So that's how. I mean, but they didn't even have a master's degree program for the work that I did. They just put it under computer sciences at the time. That was back in 2000. You know?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
But, no,
Same. Go ahead.
what's up?
Did I miss anything?
Watching. No, Wiz was telling us about his master's degree.
Oh, nice. Awesome. I real Don Martino. He says he's really good at taking tests. I'm glad that chat really got into that conversation. I like that.
Real, dude, I'm exactly the same. I got a 95 on my ASVAB, and my Navy recruiter went fucking off the rail.
Right.
Yeah, I did pretty good in the Navy.
Well,
And yeah, I actually went in the Navy.
They gave me a GT score. I was 16 when I took the test for the entry into the service, and gave me a GT score. They did the ASVAB, they did all that stuff, and I came back with a GT
certified journeyman carpenter. You need 4 years of school and 10,000 hours in service. So is that 4 years plus 10,000 hours? 10,000 hours. That's fucking 5 years. That's 5 years of 40-hour weeks.
Yeah, it took me a long time to same carpenter. It's not
a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely not overnight like a lot of people think. I mean, you're going to spend years, especially if it's general contracting. You're going to spend years learning before you even think about being able to become certified.
Yep. You do work and you go to school. Yes, I've seen the fucking carpenters or the contractors test, Class A contractors test. My father was a Class A contractor. I couldn't do it. There's no fucking way in hell.
It takes that whole, like I say, it took me total to get all the time in and everything, and I kept working for the guy, even though for a while there I could have gone on my own. I kept looking for the guy. Before I went on my own, I did it for two different people for about 10 years. I apprenticed under them total before I went on my own.
If someone were to ask me today, and they do on a regular basis, what should I do with myself? I got to tell you, the apprentice work for any electrician or plumber,
right?
Any reputable electrician or plumber apprentice work will pay you massive dividends both now and in the future.
Heating and cooling is
the best thing about
if you HVAC, fuck yes, absolutely yes. These are 6-figure jobs now.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because nobody does them.
And you're getting paid while you're being taught. So you're basically going to school and getting paid for it.
You're not getting paid a little either. You're getting a fucking, you can make a $25 an hour intern easily. People are paying $25 an hour for decent interns these days. $25 an hour is a $50,000 a year job. Let me repeat that. $25 an hour is a $50,000 a year job. That's a career. When I was a youngster, I did more for $14,000, $7 an hour. Same thing.
And you'll learn it.
And I'm not preaching here, but by God, you really don't know how good you got it. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Sorry.
And see, and actually, I completely agree with you, especially people that are really concerned about college debt. Dallas has brought it up a lot of times. He wants to get into a career, but he's really worried about college debt. Carpenter, myself, Emerald, we've all told him, man, find a plumber, learn plumbing, and an electrician, learn electrical, and apprentice under him. And it's got to be for the long haul. You got to plan on it for the long haul.
Any of the trades, actually.
He's right. Any of them. Pick one. And there's a $75,000 to $100,000 a year job awaits you. Easy.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you could use the trade as a fallback.
Right.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
My CDL, I actually rarely use it. It's mostly just when right now I'm using it more because they're short on truck drivers and I've been filling in on stuff. But before I rarely used it because it was more just hauling the big gooseneck with with material, and if you're on the interstate and you go by a DOT, even if you're in a dually with a gooseneck, you're over their weight, so you got to pull in and have a CDL. But I keep it as a backup. I think it's good to have backup upon backup upon backup on careers. I mean,
There it is right there. The real Don Martino is electrician. Massive kudos.
and I bet he
Skull
made
is an idiot.
bank.
I
Like
didn't go to
Skulls.
school for auto mechanics. I found
Lisa is a human resource person.
I found a guy that had an automotive shop, and I went to him. He was in the service. He was retired military, and we got to talking. And I was like, "Man, I'd just like to hang around the shop and learn what I can and do. Clean your tools and clean your shop and shit like that." And next thing you know, he had me tearing apart engines, stuff like that.
Merry Christmas, Lisa.
When I broke out in construction, for the first year at least, is all I did was pick up trash and pick up cutoffs of wood. And I bet Carpenter can tell me that you break in at because I broke in under the old timers. I broke in at the very bottom. They make you
I broke
earn
in
your dues.
below you. My father was a general contractor. And so at 9 years old, I made a $1 a day picking up scrap lumber and garbage on job sites.
Yeah.
9. The next year, I graduated to $1 an hour at 10. This is summertime work, of course. It's hot as fuck.
But your dad was making you pay the dues, and that's what, yeah. And I think a lot of people still do that. So if you do go in as an apprentice, don't think you're going to start right at the top. You're going to
you're going to be doing the low end work, but you're still going to get compensated for it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Friendly
dude,
with that
$20 an hour for a fucking apprentice.
Yeah.
I mean, Starbucks baristas are making $15 an hour. So fucking somebody's going to wield a pair of pliers and a multimeter. Should be able to make $20-25 an hour as an apprentice. Starting getting this shit.
I saw a banner at Burger King, starting wage $18 an hour.
Burger King. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be an electrician. I'd much rather be a shit a shit slinging plumber than be a barista or a fucking Burger King guy.
Washburn Billy is 23
Washburn,
years.
23 years HVAC. There's the joint right there. There it is right there.
Yes. 23 years of making that much bank. That guy's not hurting for much. I'll tell you that much. If he is, then he's made some bad.
And he works where he wants to work when he wants to work at his rate.
Here's a trade that probably hasn't been mentioned. Sheet metal workers.
You know what? I know a lot of sheet metal workers. Dude, I don't think they're making a lot of money these days. Their fabrication, metal fab is being customized at the other end of the building by high-end guys. I'm just saying, it's been my experience. I can get anything fabbed for pretty much nothing these days in metal. What you need is, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. You can make a lot of money in fab work, but it's hit and miss. There's not a lot of call for it right now because a lot of it, like you say, is machine made. Bill, if you meant like sheet metal is in the construction portion of it, absolutely. I'm one of the only ones around here that does sheet metal for the construction.
I know nothing about that, Bill. I'm sorry.
Actually, there's a big shortage of what we call tin knockers.
Yep, construction based. Yep,
they work in industrial stuff.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I know nothing about that. I should.
Sheet metal workers union at nuclear facilities that I worked at. I only worked at five nuclear facilities, and those guys were making bank, and they were getting per diem pay and all this non-taxable wages, non-taxable pay, and they were bringing home like, a couple of grand a week at least.
Oh shit!
Yeah, at least like 2,200 a week.
Talk to your supervisor. It's not policy. Yeah, low voltage stuff, dude. Low voltage stuff's really coming to the front there. Don, real Don.
Y'all,
You know what? You're right. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of talk about this. But dude, you can go get this. This is not just talk anymore. I mean, the shit has actually the labor shortage has
bingo.
actually hit the fan now. It
Yep.
really has.
Even out in
There's
my
never
area,
been a better time.
right, and I'm in a rural area, and even where I'm at, a lot of people are up or close to that $20 an hour mark, and I live in an area they say we're notorious for lower wages, but you can live better on a lower wage out here than what you can for a higher wage in the city. The cost of living is so much less, housing, everything.
Right.
So, and they consider us lower, and a lot of our carpenters are still making $18, $19 an hour starting.
Well, everybody has a different path. I want to say that. Everybody has a different vision, dream, whatever it is that you want to do. It's all different. Yours is not mine. Mine is not yours. I can't tell you how to do your thing. I cannot. I
Right.
can tell you how I've done my thing. That's the best I
And
can
I,
do for you.
I think that's what you said it perfectly. Everybody has their own path. Even within my family, with my nieces and nephews, there's diversity just in the family. I have nieces and nephews, some of them that are learning under, carpenters. One of them learning under me right now. He's apprenticing under me. I've got some that are off into college for engineering. One that's off into college for programming and animation. A couple that are going to trade school. It's all those levels, and I think that points out that you nailed it. Everybody has their own path. Do what you want to do, what's best for you, because they're all good routes if it's what's good for you.
That's it. Good for you. That's what it's got to be. That's all. Doesn't have to be mine. Doesn't have to be yours. Doesn't have to be anybody's. But take your own path. Cut your own. I always say this. Cut your own path. Cut your own fucking road straight through the fucking rough part and do exactly what it is that you want to do. If you're smart, you'll learn from everybody else. If you have the opportunity, I highly recommend you learn from everybody else. I only started learning when I got smart, which is when I got old. Some of my really stupid shit was done in, youth. Let me be real clear about this, and this is a saying that I live by. Age and treachery will always overcome youth and enthusiasm. Do you understand that?
I do.
Old motherfuckers like me with experience will cut you youngsters' throat if we have to.
Yep.
And can. And I'll leave it at that. Have a nice day.
Just like I said the other night, if you try to play my game in construction to get a bit away from me, I will. And if you try to play my game in it, I will eat you alive because you're in my house.
Throat. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's
what it's all about,
money
baby.
in my pocket. So yeah.
Yep. That is exactly what it's all about.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. What is chat saying about us? Mountain interstate passes are closed in Northwest. Okay. Makes good sense.
Wow, went really fast. I can't keep up.
I like living comfortably myself. Miss Miriam, she thinks we're funny, I guess. Bruce Washburn, I'm from rich, but I'm comfortable. See, that's what it's all about, brother. You ain't got to be rich. Rich ain't what it's all about these days.
They tried to do that.
Yours.
They tried to do that in Colorado too, but they dropped it. Thank goodness. Bruce, they were wanting to make all the if you drove for the state to plow snow, they wanted to make it to where you had to have a shot, have the vaccine card, and they dropped that because they weren't going to have any drivers.
You know what?
And there's
I've heard a
already
lot about that.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing in Arizona and New Mexico. They basically started with socializing you got to have a vax policy, and the drivers basically said you got to hug my nuts because you ain't getting a vax. And so basically 75% of the drivers told them to go fuck themselves. And in all honesty, and I want to be clear about this is a big jump and it's a 50,000 foot analysis, but those COVID class A or those COVID CDL requirements are part of the supply chain logistics problem that exists today. The simple fact is there are not enough drivers to take that. There are not enough CDL drivers to take those containers off of that pier onto the roads where they have to go to get to their destination. And I'll shut up now. Nightingale, hey. Ragged Coin, good to see you, sir. I'm sorry if I talk too much. Wiz walks off. He's like, okay, well, here, talk about something. And he just goes off and gets a pie.
I'm not, dude. I'm making hot cocoa. I'm right here.
Cocoa, excuse me, not pie.
So I have one question. Everybody's asking this question, and I don't know how to answer it. Maybe you know. Regarding almond milk, how do you milk an almond?
very carefully.
I'm just wondering. Somebody asked that question. I just thought I would. Maybe
well,
Don.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, inquiring minds want to know. You push an ideological agenda. Yes, it is.
To hopefully everybody enjoyed that topic. It was just when I heard that, it really bugged me when the leftists said it, but to know that others are saying it too, it was just disconcerting to hear that so many people in our government truly do believe that. And there are some very intelligent people.
What's that? I'm sorry. You're talking. What is that? What did we?
Oh,
what with
the fact of that, people without an education are less.
That's just, yeah.
Are less.
Dude, I'd have big. I got a big problem with that. I got a big problem with that.
And it worries me that so many in our government truly believe that, because I know some super intelligent people that make me look like I really do eat crayons, that have like some of these old guys grew up farming. They can tell you anything about the plants they raise, when to do it, what to do, everything about that most of us would not know. It's just that their knowledge is in something different. It's not that they have less ability. Their knowledge is just in something different. And now I'll show.
Best way I've ever learned things is hands-on. And I've thought about it long and hard. And when it boils down to it, it's what I call the path to authority. Information tempered with experience becomes knowledge. Knowledge tempered with experience becomes wisdom. Wisdom tempered with experience becomes authority. That there's a long dissertation about that, but yeah, I've taught each of my kids that. It doesn't matter if you go to school, or if you learn it from an old man, or or just beat your knuckles trying to figure it out on your own. That's the way to do it. So, I mean, yeah, I've gone through the educational system like nobody else in my family ever had. You know what I'm saying? There might be one other one, but we don't know who they are. They were gone a long time ago. But yeah, just you know, like Don says, some of the smartest people I know, some of the wealthiest people I know, they just got a high school diploma. They just went to work.
You don't have to be highly educated to be successful in this great nation of ours. You really do not. As a matter of fact, it's like I was saying, some of the smartest people, some of the most successful people I know, they never graduated college. College couldn't keep up with them. They really couldn't. Um, and that's fine. Everybody get their own path. That's
Right.
And that's really what makes the United States a very unique place. Let me say that again. There are a lot of places that are free, and there are a lot of places that are democratic, and there are a lot of places that are this and that and the other thing. But very few places on earth give you the system, the both political and financial systems available to build wealth, to earn some money, for like stupid people, poor stupid people like me, to go to the Navy, get an education, turn it into a job or a skill, and make a little money at it. I know it sounds simple, but it took me 40 years to figure out, 50 years to figure out.
Right. Right.
And I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. I'm not. Like I said, some of the smartest guys, much smarter than me. They make me look like Singh said he looks like that crayon guy, eater. No. Um,
How come you didn't tell me I had a dot on my forehead?
You got a dot on your forehead.
dude, you got a dot on your forehead.
I don't know what the hell it's from. But
Education is lifelong. Education shouldn't. People need to stop thinking about education as some kind of formal. I got to go to a school. I got to go to an online. I got to go to a website. I got to go to a something to get it. Stop, because
If
it's not.
if you stop learning, you're going to lose your job to the guy that didn't.
Bingo, and he's going to run right up your ass.
Yep.
Because that's where he's at right now. He's about this far behind you.
Yep.
If you're worth your salt, he's this far behind you. But if you slow down, he's coming straight up your ass.
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, I graduated my paramedical school in the military, combat medic. Then turned around and graduated top of my class. Turned around and was great, you know. Then got out of the service and realized I don't want to be in that business. I wanted a life. So I went to work in that auto shop, automotive restoration. You know what I'm saying? I was just an old guy working in a garage, and he taught me everything I know. Within a year and a half, I started buying into the shop.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
I was a part owner. You know, that kind of thing.
Kate, Kate, you made me come up here the other night. Now you got to come up here tonight, since I came up for you the other night. And not this will all be right up, and in 45 minutes to an hour we might see you. Within 5 minutes you got to come up here.
Come on, Kay. But then
I got 5 minutes.
When that fell apart, I went into construction. I knew a little bit about construction from before, but you know, started out framing and assisting a framer. You know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, I'm putting on roofs. You know,
right. And to be honest, even if you were still working in that mechanic shop, it would have been good to do that, because it would have been a second, that fallback thing.
Well, I've always been able to do my own work on my own vehicles. I have bought cars, fixed them up, and sold them. I did that a lot. You know, go ahead.
That's what I was going to tell everybody. My fallback is bench tech. I can troubleshoot electronics.
There you go. There you go.
Nice.
And yeah.
Construction, where real estate is at the base, one of our largest holdings in life that most of us will ever have. Real estate is one of the largest holdings all of us will have in life, whether you're rich or poor or whatever. Most of the time, real estate is going to be your most significant holding. And when you're able to do it on your own, you are able to save 2/3, because when you build in this day to day, 2/3 of the cost, and Don just went through it. I bet you 2/3 of his costs were labor.
Oh yeah. And sweat equity is $100 an hour. Fucking you can do. If
Yep.
you want to turn sweat into equity, you can do it at about $100 an hour.
You can save a lot of money.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I wanted to show you my my robot map. This is the map that my Roomba creates when it's cleaning my floors. I know it's kind of funny.
You know, Skull said he troubleshoots electronics a lot, and I know Diesel Defects, he does too. And I don't think that's our primary job, but you want to talk about a heck of a backup career. Electronics, anything with,
Oh fuck yeah,
newer
fuck
electronics.
yeah.
That
Real
that's
Don Martineau was my boy. He was an AT in the Navy. I was an EW. Don. Don, my brother. Yep. Don and I are just alike. He's probably just as good looking as I am too.
Well, I spent the last 30 years of my working time as a computer engineer, communications, computer technologist, you know?
nice.
So,
Nightingale said she started as a nursing in a nursing program, but she left.
They're lying. They're full of shit. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. As an elephant who paints. You're right. You're absolutely right. It does not make a good picture. It uses LIDAR. I don't know what LIDAR is. That would be everything going as planned. Unfortunately, nothing goes as planned.
LIDAR
Luckily, I
is,
paid off my education. Go ahead.
oh, my bad. LIDAR, if I remember right, I'm looking it up, but I believe it's light emitting
Okay.
radar. It's kind of like radar, but it sends like pulses down, and they can
Kind of like
actually,
FLIR, maybe.
yeah, I think similar. They can actually, because it'll like go through um, different densities. So like in South America, they're using a lot of that to find a lot of these new pyramids and new cities down there, because it'll actually show what's underneath the jungle.
I've seen that. Yes, sir. And they are finding a bunch of new shit, not just in Central and South America, but all over the joint.
Right,
Uh,
right,
3 to 6 feet in the dirt, they can see that shit as moisture, which
right.
is very cool.
Yep.
Oh,
It's not telling me
that reminds
exactly
me.
what it's in.
When are you and me and the professor gonna look at some of that 20,000-year-old culture um, stuff from
I do
before
not know.
Gobekli Tepe?
I don't know,
Gobekli
but I was trying to get him up here the other night to talk to us. I think it'd be cool to have to where you guys can pull up the different images, to have different things to pull up as we're talking about it. I think that would be awesome if you guys pulled up different portions of it. I'm not
can
sure it's going to get
probably
that in depth.
manage
Oh, like
something that technically. I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you talking about like Gobekli Tepe and these different sites?
Well, you're about a minute and a half behind the conversation, but go ahead. I'm sorry for your loss there, Bruce.
Yeah, sorry for the loss. That sucks. Yeah, I think if we could get a group of us up here talking about it, and I'd like to have Woody up here where he's got the degree in history. He would be a fun one to pick his brain on it, and to see how he sees it after going to college and reading a lot of, most of his studies have been through
He's
printed
back there
history.
listening, but he won't come up. He's out there lurking, but he won't come up. So we got to talk bad about him until he does come up.
Yeah.
Washburn, hang out, brother. We're hanging out. I mean, but if you got to go, you got to go. I get it. I understand completely.
Take care.
I'm out of coffee too. That sucks.
Yeah, dream well, Patriot.
Yeah, I got to go get some more coffee myself. I'll be right back.
Oh, my warming up. This hot cocoa. God, I love it.
Chilled dead babies in a Las Vegas mug.
Now you keep drinking that shit, you're going to be a dead baby yourself. I just can't help it.
So Doc says to me, he says, you're dying, right? I looked at him, I'm like, what? Fuck, where'd that come from? He says, yeah, you're dying. I said, you want to tell me a little more? He says, well, you're dying. I said, is this going to cause a problem for me? You got a timeline? He says, no, I don't have a timeline. Can't help you. You probably have at least another 10, 15 years. But you're dying. I'm like, well, thanks for that. I really do, appreciate that. Can you get me any closer to where I'm? No, sorry. Okay, so how about extending? Is there anything I can do now? To pay a guy? Is a check I can write? Is there a pill I can eat? I mean, what's up? Is there any way I can?
Did he
Yeah,
give
can I
you
get
the
another few
diet
more years?
exercise thing?
Yeah. Can I do that now and get another 10, 15 years out of it? He said, no, it's too late for that shit. Sorry. So I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do then. He says, well, there's really not much you can do. As much as people want to think they're going to change it, it's not going to happen.
No, it don't
Your
work that way.
doctor actually sounds like my kind of person, kind of a dick, but that's funny as crap. Yeah.
Yep, you're gonna die.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Like
what are you going to do?
That's why I said, you know what? I've learned since I've been dead already. I'm gonna live till I die. Fuck it. I'm gonna do everything I can till I can't.
Amen.
So, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'll go until I can't go no more, and then
Figure it out from there.
be giving you a leech treatment there, Dante. Okay, I mean, dude, if a leech treatment gets me a couple more months or years out of it, I'll take one. Yeah.
It's one of those things. A tree could fall on my bedroom tonight. I could get tagged by a semi on my way to work tomorrow. You just don't know, and you're not meant to.
Don's got it. You're not getting out alive, whether you think you are or not. It's done. You'll never get out alive.
So make
I'm
the
sorry.
most of it while you got it.
And you
Do
can't
what you
take
can
nothing
do.
with it. And you can take nothing
Exactly.
with it.
It stuck with me my entire life. So G. Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island. You remember G. Thurston Howell?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gilligan's Island's one of my favorite shows.
G. Thurston Howell III impressed me as a youth when he said, "If I can't take it with me, I won't go."
Uh,
I thought, there's a good view.
Earlier,
Fire
someone were talking about.
popped up.
Oh,
He's cheating again. Supposed to call fire in the bowl when you do that shit. Now, damn it. Fire in the bowl. Brought to you by South's Gravy Biscuit Farms.
.com.
Um,
Facepalm moment.
being all selfish, keeping it to yourself. That's
Yeah, I'm a scumbag like that. What can I say?
oh man, that warmness is coming in good.
Planning to be transfigured. I'm not sure what transfigured is, but okay. Sounds interesting.
Lovey. Fuego in the bowl. Yep. No, but yeah, this is.
Fuego into bowl. Fuego into bolo. Or what's the bowl? What's bowl? What's Latin is Spanish for bowl?
She
Spanish
said
for
it's
bowl.
just bowl.
Okay. Fuego into bowl.
I used to
There
think
we
it was
go.
Buelo, but Buelo has something to do with toilets.
No, fuego. Okay.
Buelo. Fuego in the
We
boil?
don't need that then. We don't
Nope.
need that.
yeah, you probably don't want to
I
smoke
saw
out
a
of the toilet.
huge U-Haul
Right.
self-driving truck towing a small U-Haul trailer. Dude, if that's the first time you've ever seen that, then you've lived a kind of sheltered life, honestly. Because I mean, as much time as I spend on the road, I see that all the time. U-Haul, hauling a U-Haul? Yes. Fuego is fire. I think you're right there. Standing up for the chicken. But who's standing up? Okay.
I don't know if that's a ha-ha or if he's serious. I don't know how
I'm
to
okay with
address
standing
that.
up for the chicken. That's cool.
I kind of
Stand
like
up.
my fried chicken. I
I'm a
really
fan.
like chicken. Yeah. To be honest, a lot of the times I would even rather have, a nice piece of chicken over a steak at times. Most of the time it's probably going to be steak, but sometimes I'll choose chicken over it.
Spam alert.
So I need to throw out a shout out to my lovely wife, who tonight is still driving near Merritt Road. And I thought she had stopped. She's still driving. Crap. Elk City, Oklahoma.
Oh wow,
On Interstate 40.
she's tearing it up, huh?
Oh, dude, she is hauling ass.
Yeah. Kick ass. So she came across 70 or no
40. 40.
40. We went down south
Through
95.
down 95, actually down 81 to 40 west through Tennessee, Nashville,
Uh,
Memphis, Little Rock, now Oklahoma City. Man, she's put in the last 24 hours, she put 1,500 miles on.
yeah, nice.
I got to beep her.
You need to stop and get some rest.
No, I need to tell her I'm on the panel.
Hmm.
I'm on the panel. Okay. But yeah,
So
she's hauling ass through Oklahoma right now. Go ahead.
Kay officially missed the 5 minutes. I think she ran when I told her to come up.
Yeah.
She doesn't like
He's
the
like, oh,
timer.
fuck no.
She does not like the timer at all.
No, she was bitching about it the other night.
Don't.
Califuckians don't want to stop in Idaho. They do want to stop in Idaho. I'm telling you, and that's going to be your problem because when the Californians come to Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, and Utah, and they will,
Hurry back,
nothing
Aaron.
you can do. You can't hit them with the truck. I'm coming, damn it. Look at it. There she is. Oh, you got to love it.
Well, she's got clear skies all the way to Nevada, bro.
Good evening, Kay. We're not trying to. Yeah, I know. Listening to you a few seconds there, but I'm back on the road again, she says. Lovely wife, by the way.
Rock on.
I see a shit ton of U-Haul trailers. All of them are headed west. And they're all headed for not just the Tennessees of the world, but the Missouris, the Colorados. Oh my God, are they headed for the Colorados? I almost
Yep.
feel sorry for the people in
And
Colorado.
A lot of them are headed for Texas.
Texas. Texas is managing to absorb them.
Yep.
But some
And
of that
really,
blue.
the hard
Go ahead.
lefties are headed for New Mexico, though.
Yeah.
Yep. The hard lefties are headed for New Mexico.
Yep. Absolutely. And
And,
Phoenix.
well, that and Boulder, Colorado.
And Boulder. Yes. But now they're headed to Wyoming, dude. They're buying big sky countries. I'm seeing a lot of things coming out of LA and Hollywood, going up to Big Sky, Wyoming's, and Montana's, and buying big estates or buying small estates, but getting the fuck in the woods. Californians.
Yeah.
I mean, Californians must assimilate. Yeah, they don't though, and that's kind of the problem.
Well, they
Listen, I
do
don't
want
want to
to
hate on
be.
Californians, but I hate on Californians.
I tell you what, even the lefties, they get into these areas where they have to be self sufficient. They start conservatizing real fast. I'll tell you
They
that,
do. They
right?
do.
And
They
nothing
do.
makes a conservative, nothing makes a liberal more conservative than having a kid, raising a kid.
Yeah, that's true. Or protecting a kid.
Right, right. That's yeah, you're big time.
That has been problematic for for our liberal brethren, our lefty brethren. Why is it always that I'm the one that talks too much?
You're doing good, doing good. Oh man, that's just good for the soul. Uh, Melting dark chocolate in the hot cocoa and the marshmallows. Oh, thank you, Jesus, for the simple pleasures in life. Oh, talking about that fire in the motherfucking bowl. Fire them up, guys. Now, all you can't just go dark and mute yourselves, damn it. Come on. Someone talk to me. Hmm.
Okay.
All right. Have you done any study of the culture around expected culture around what they're finding around Gobekli Tepe singularity?
No, I haven't seen much about. They're finding like other cities around there or
They're finding other
debris.
places. There was one they called the Temple of Sin.
Really?
Yep, it was all in the religious order based around Sirius and the star Sirius.
Mhm.
All their orientations, they had the rings that were focused on the position of Sirius.
Okay.
They had a lot of that stuff going on. That was the smooth faced man with the long nose, the Kilroy face.
Yeah.
That's the smooth faced stuff. They're finding a lot of that stuff around that area. That it was a smooth faced Kilroy face kind of guy.
Okay. Now, what do you guys think that was? Because I know that they're not finding any evidence of anybody ever living in there. It's like they built it and buried it.
No, it was used. It was used. And all of its orientations, it has those orientations, those rings that were based on the of the position of Sirius as a star was 16,000 years ago. That's how they dated it. They didn't date it by carbon date. The carbon date stuff didn't come out the way they wanted, way they thought it would. But if you go by the star date and of the structure itself, and the things built into it, that they're all focused on where Sirius was, Ceres was, and it shows up in the spot where it's supposed to be according to the construction in 16,000 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, between 15 and 16,000 years ago. So that's where the date comes from for Göbekli Tepe. I've done hours and hours of scouring. And once you get into the search mode on that stuff, your browsers will start pulling in other pieces. After a while, you'll start noticing that you got all this other stuff coming in over here that's related to it. I had some programs called sweepers that would go through the text in a website, and I could pull up. I can put in a word, and it would sweep through.
Oh, nice.
It's
Hey,
a
better.
crawler, it's a web crawler program.
Oh, kind of like the brown recluse that they used to have. They called it the brown recluse, where you'd put in certain catchphrases or search words, and then it'd go around and find everything to do with it.
Right, they called them spiders. Not,
Yeah.
I never heard them called brown recluses, but I've heard them called spiders.
Okay.
A web spider, a crawler. But
I'm
anyway,
pretty good with a Boolean expression, so I could make search engines do what I want them to do.
right. But anyway, that's where I started finding this Temple of Sin, and there was a couple other temples they found there that were dated approximately around the time that Gobekli Tepe was active. And but that's another deal. But I haven't done any research recently.
The simple fact that there's several of us in one area that are interested in this, and I'm not talking just a flighting interest, that we're really interested in this. And with your guys' experience and like Don with being able to build the search engines like that, you realize some of the research we could do on that, just piling all that up and having it, like, I don't know, would there be a way to make it accessible to all of us from a remote area if we all Like whatever we found, we could put it into the same thing, and we could all
Library. We
research
can
it.
make a library. Yeah, I've got several libraries. But yeah, I can host a library on my domain. Um,
Okay.
and we can even draw an HTML interface for it. I want to show you something, and I don't. I know I was looking it up the other night, and I didn't find the link for it. But let me go.
And if Woody
And
would get his ass up here too, I'd just be we'd have all four of us going at it. He's too good for us.
You know, Skull, I used to have that same problem. It's a wonderful ability until you don't need it. But yeah, I get you. As far as searching for this shit, I'll be honest with you. I do most of what I'm looking for is found on YouTube. I find the learning interface with some of these stories. Some of them are long, but others give it to me as quickly as I can eat it, which is kind of fast.
right,
It
right.
may not be suitable for everybody, but that's fine. I'm happy to share what little bit that I have. But with that said, I'm doing is going up there and using and ors like they needed to be used, or like they're supposed to be used. Um, by looking for things like 8,000 years BC, 8,000 BC, 8,000-year-old man, 20,000-year-old man, and there's some segments out there when you look like for 13 to 15,000-year-old floods. Something else that really interests me is some of the glacial receding back around 13 and 15,000 years ago on the Pacific Northwest, cut a lot of rivers, and did a lot of really, and I mean fucking extremely interesting geologic
Yep,
stuff, like
with the layer.
leaving
I think.
erratics, digging holes, swirls, ripples, things like this that I'm just seeing, and that's just being learned about. I believe that had a lot to do with flooding, and I believe that
Yep.
the 13 and 15,000 year marks are big flood times that I believe that the actual oceans raised hundreds of feet with the advent of or with the disappearing of ice. And I guess this is just my theory, but I find all of that ties in together. There's a couple of guys up in the Northwest at these universities that have some really interesting videos on this. And I'll shut up now and let somebody else talk if they want to. But
No, I agree, and I think I know which West Coast one you're talking about. I saw it because they were actually talking about how the sedimentary, how everything was settled into place, and they went through the layers of ground. Right, they dug out the side, and then were studying the layers,
yep,
and
yep.
yep, and showed that there had to have been like some of the compaction and how erratic it was. That there had to have been something pretty severe, like a flood or something like that. One of the
Yep.
things I would love to do is find a computer model that takes like tectonic plate movement and does it in reverse, just slowly, and take all the places where a lot of these civilizations were, and kind of know like when the times they were, where everything, like how long ago, like even like some of the suspected pyramids and stuff like that, like different things, like say how close would have Britain been to main Europe, or if there would have been, and to show like different how the land would have looked at different levels of the water at these times too, to where it all basically strips away time to where you can see how the land looked, and then we could get more of an idea of where things might be.
I love that discussion, and I actually love that, but I'm not sure that exists yet.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but There's another thing where you're talking about tectonic plates and how they can move backwards. There are various models. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a tectonic model.
Right.
And there are some of them that have overlaid places that we know today. And those places are or are not. Some of them, like if you look at the city of San Francisco and where it sets now, and where it was back through, Pangea, for instance. Well, it sat
Right.
in the deepest part of the fucking world when Pangea was the only landmass, and then as it broke up, then that particular hotspot moved, and there's a lot of different models for that. But yeah, you can see that. But there's
I'm gonna have to look
nothing
for some of
that's
those.
nothing uniform yet. Um, yes, I said the word Pangea. Can I say that here?
Yeah.
I,
Um, but
Why?
I love all that shit.
yeah,
You
same
know
here.
that the Yellowstone hotspot. We're finding out now the Yellowstone hotspot the United States has literally moved over the Yellowstone hotspot instead of the Yellowstone hotspot moving over the United States. In other words, it's taken a path that has come from just south of the California-Oregon border on the coast and moved up across the northwest, to where it is right now over the span of the last 15 million years. Did you know that? 15 million
That's
years
interesting. I
ago,
did
that
not.
hotspot used to be offshore California.
Oh wow. Now, see,
Yeah.
that's the type of stuff that's interesting because it could also tell us where, civilizations would have been and stuff like that because they naturally in colder areas would have gone somewhere with sulfur springs and stuff like that, that would have had warmer areas.
So let's talk about the Sphinx. And I got a theory here. And it's an early theory, and I really, please
Right on.
poke holes in it if you want. But um, so the Sphinx, what we're seeing is watermarks from a time that we don't know. What we're assuming is that there was some natural phenomena that brought water there. When it's possible that this could have been a man-made source of water to polish stone in early iterations of said Sphinx. So, in other words, I would postulate and proffer that that water that ran down there was used to grind stone at a higher level and brought there specifically.
I
Fucking
say that it was utilized to build the pyramids.
water.
My,
Yep. The valley was flooded to bring in the block.
I've seen that there's actually a lot of archaeologists that make that they push for they believe that that's how they move the blocks. My problem with the ability to move blocks on that is if you do the layout, there's other videos, other scientists that did it. If you do the layout on as massive as these blocks were, the displacement they would need and the size of boats they would need would almost fill the width of the Nile, which could be, and I guess if they flooded it, it would have been wider and they could have used times when it flooded. I mean, all of it, of course, is possible. It's just almost impossible to
There's
tell what it was.
no there's no models that say that there was enough water in the atmosphere short of 15,000 years ago was the closest time that there was water in the Sphinx area.
Correct.
Yep,
It's
there
that
was
simple. 15,000
yeah,
years ago.
yep, I believe it's 12,000 something, but yeah, roughly 15,000 years ago that there was an ocean, and at that time, or the full ocean, but hard to tell how long it would have taken it to completely recede to after the levels dropped enough to cut it off from the larger
So I got
ocean.
no real answer to the Sphinx watermarks, but I do have a theory, and it's just that water was brought in by the constructors of the Sphinx.
Very
Okay.
possible.
My humble opinion.
I can't argue because it could be anything. Myself, I lead to the thinking that it's maybe older than what we think, and I also have seen some of the studies
You're
done
one
on
of
it
those
when they.
ancient alien guys, aren't you? You think that there was a
No,
civilization that was smart that got wiped out and we lost some shit there. Is that what you believe?
actually, that's what I do. I don't believe they're aliens. I believe they were us, but I believe there was
Okay.
technologies that not like our technology, but maybe different than what we were
Other.
used to. That more of a natural base possibly. And there's no way I can prove it. It's just everything I see. It kind of leads me to develop it with you when you look a lot of the megaliths and what they're able to do and their movement and everything. Because you all know as well as I do that we would have a difficult time moving these megaliths how they did. And I'm not taking away because man can do a lot of things if you get a lot of people together to do it. I'm not saying they couldn't have. They obviously could have moved them. And
I believe they
yes,
could. I
yeah.
believe they had math skills way above what we think they had.
Oh yeah,
Math will
and
move
experience in
those
space.
rocks.
Well, they
And
had
that's a
experience with the heavens. They had experience in space. The Anunnaki, the word itself means those from heaven who came to earth.
seeing that part, and I get it, and I've read a lot on it, and and it's another
The
interesting
Anunnaki
theory.
were gods. Were gods. The Anunnaki were gods of the Sumerians and early Sumerians. You're right. But they were
I
they were
believe.
gods.
See, now I believe it was man that possessed the knowledge, whether you call it technology or knowledge. I think there was. You can't even say technology's lost. Maybe it was the knowledge lost. Of how they did a lot of this and everything. I know a lot of people that really believe in the ancient alien stuff. And as for ancient aliens, I don't subscribe to that. I'm not saying that's not it. I won't, I can't dispute it per se, but I do believe it was us that were, our ancestors that were able to do this. We just lost the the knowledge. You know what I mean? Does that make any
See, I
sense?
disagree with both of you. I
Okay.
disagree with both of you. I disagree. I don't think that there was an Anunnaki aliens that I don't even believe that there was an ancient civilization with that level of knowledge that you're speaking of and was wiped out and lost. I don't think that these things happened. I don't.
Right.
I think that to build some of the stuff that we finding that people have built is doable with the math that we know today. And if they knew the math, and it looks like they did, then they kicked its ass. They built the
But
shit.
they knew how to deal with sound and frequency and vibration.
They
They
did
knew the
to a
secrets
certain
of sound.
extent. Yes, sir.
They knew the
They
secrets of sound.
they magnified. We already know that they've magnified sunlight to do molten rock kind of shit. We already knew that they've learned how to put chemicals, or not chemicals, but well, yeah, chemicals, minerals. Excuse me, minerals together to achieve other goals, hardness, flexibility, shape, various other things. And so there's a lot of knowledge there that 3,000-year-old man, 4,000-year-old man, 5,000-year-old man, I believe possessed. My opinion. It's just my opinion.
A lot of those
Um,
wiped out
I
through the
I
wars.
believe that
absolutely.
the Anunnaki were just gods written about by the Sumerians and carried forth in the text.
Carpenter, real quick. I was going to answer Carpenter. Absolutely. These are us. speculations based on what we've each seen. So without being there, none of us will truly know and everything. But
Oh yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. All this is theory shit. We're just talking
yeah,
theory shit. Just
yeah,
stuff that I think I've learned through
Yeah.
YouTube. I may
right.
be learning just wrong shit, but it's
Yeah.
interesting to me, and so I really dig it.
Same
And
here.
I try
This
to
type of stuff.
understand.
And
I can go.
Try to
talking about
understand the
digging it.
facts as 3, 4, and 5 people will tell me. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
Right. Exactly. The
Take
multiple
care, Nightingale.
people. Oh, Nightingale taking off. Sweet
She
dreams,
said she's falling
Nightingale.
asleep.
Sweet dreams, Nightingale.
But yeah, and I think especially on this where we're all theorizing, I think it's good to take in all the other ideas because
Mhm.
it's
Sure.
it's one of those things that just the scope of our history, how it could not amaze people and interest people. That's what baffles me. Like how you guys are interested in it, that's how I am. It baffles me that some people aren't interested in it.
You know what interests people continuously amazes me.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have the ability to uh, see other people's interests, my wife's, her friends, my nieces, and how they're just not as conservative as me, and how that actually happens and plays out, and that kind of thing.
Right.
That's all. And I try real hard not to judge because people are living their own lives. They have
Right.
to.
Right.
Um,
And you gotta go after what interests you. If it doesn't interest you, don't waste your time. And I get that.
right.
Hey, Dennis.
Now, Carpenter, there is a partner. Carpenter says the theory of evolution, someone's opinion on evolution. There is a part of the evidence, at least from what I've researched, to where that it was true up to the point to where we were created. There was an evolution that took place because Lord took the life that was here.
If
And
we are we moving to evolution now? Because I could go on about that for a while too.
no, but
Or did you guys want? Could you want to move on to that? If so, I
no, I
really
don't
got
want to
something
move
I
on
want to
to that.
say.
I was just answering his question. Yeah, or
Darn,
his.
If
dang
you
it.
want to talk about evolution, you go right ahead. Go right
I'll just
ahead.
make one.
Just leap. Both feet go in the hole. Go for it, brother.
Oh
I'll
shit!
just make one statement that confuses an evolution. The theory of evolution is that everything evolves or devolves. So everything evolves together. So you can't have one base species that does nothing, yet there's another breakaway species that evolves. So if we evolved from monkeys, the monkeys that are there would have either evolved with us or they would have devolved somewhat. So if we did come from what they call monkeys, it would have had to have been something in between. And then you got some that devolved into monkeys and then some that evolved into us. My basic understanding. I didn't go to
It's
school for it, so
evolution,
this is my basic understanding of evolution.
but the evolution model is broken when the DNA was manufactured. You understand? Because our DNA is not natural occurring. Our DNA was spliced at one point. It was
That
spliced.
goes And I take it that goes back to the Anunnaki thing. I've heard that from.
Potentially, yes.
I got you.
Potentially, if you take God out of the equation, yeah, okay.
See, I I don't. My problem with the ancient aliens is
I
how
don't think it's so much
if
an
they
ancient
were here
alien.
then and still here, how do we not know?
Well, the ancient alien thing is just a misnomer. It's another way of talking about those from heaven who came to earth, those angels, the archons, and other ones. You know what I'm saying? That we're not from here yet. We're here.
And it does interest me that, you've got all these, I think there's like 7 or 8 that they know of, different earlier adaptations of humans. And then Homo sapiens come into the mix. They end up basically interbreeding and wiping out Neanderthal. And prior to that, a lot of the Denisovians and stuff like that were also wiped out. So it's like an opposite V. Everything comes together, and then Homo sapiens take off. So that interests me, that Homo sapiens seem to come out of nowhere, seemingly. I mean, of course they didn't.
There's two theories of why the Homo sapiens wiped out Cro-Magnon, and that we were either more violent or a lot more intelligent. But I don't think the second is right, because according to all their science and stuff, the Cro-Magnon man had a much larger brain.
Much
So,
larger.
Listen, Cro-Magnon froze his balls off. The
Yeah.
only Cro-Magnon that was finally left was in Northern Europe, all the way up through the 20,000 years before BC or BCE. And he froze his balls off in Northern Europe, and that's how he died. Homo sapien did not kill him, did not fucking mow him down. Nobody killed anybody. There wasn't any mass extinction. He just died. They found all his bones in these fucking caves in Northern Europe, but he's dead. Oh, but his lineage lives on in pretty much everything across Europe, Asia, and most of South America.
Right, because a lot of the human population actually still has some of the Cro-Magnon
left in them. Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's where it comes into where I was talking about. I think a lot of it was interbreeding. That, and I agree that they weren't really wiped out like in a warish type, which they could have been. I mean, I'm sure there was battles over, whatever, but not like a massive, just completely wipe them out. But I think a lot of it, so slowly they were, well, like you said, they just disappeared, froze their balls off. And then a lot of it was interbreeding too and everything. And then, because a lot of us aren't even exactly what the pure Homo sapiens were kind of a little bit of a mixture of both.
But we still got a whole shit ton of fucking Cro-Magnon in us.
Yeah.
Skullraiser says he's not a Homo sapien; he's a straight sapien.
and as for the larger brain capacity, I mean, even if you take our brains and everything, which there's a common misconception. A lot of people think we only have access to 10% of our brain, which actually we have access to all of our brain, but only 10% at a time. That's the kicker. And so I mean, if they were only accessing 9%, because
there's a theory. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, I want to hear it.
I want to touch on your brain though. When you talk about brain, there's a theory that says that our brains really didn't advance until we started eating proteins. In other words, until we went from carnivore to omnivore. We started eating meat. Started eating protein, our brain started to advance. Anyway, that's a theory as I read it. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
No, actually, I agree. I've heard that too, to where the protein started basically.
I don't know what the time frame around that is, though. Do you know anything about the time frame around that?
I don't. I do know that there was a time like where they talk about the Sumerians and everything, where we kind of switch from being the hunter gatherers to the farmers, but that doesn't account for switching from pure raw meat to a good all around diet. So I don't know. Going back to the like, say if they were 9%, we were 10%. The difference between a genius and a person with an average IQ is like 0.0000000. And you could go on for a while, 1%. I mean, it's an insanely small thing, the difference between a genius and a person with an average IQ. So if you think about 1% difference, they could have a larger brain capacity, but if they were only able to use 9% of that brain at once, then that would make them, even with a larger brain cavity, that would make them less able to use it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And like
And I
Don said, maybe they didn't have the proper diet to feed the brain and start those electrical pulses. And wow.
right. Carpenter, I agree with you. Yep. Colonel Shaw in the house. Salute.
I have no idea what that was. You guys hear my phone make a weird?
Yeah. It went. Bzzz.
Dude, I have no idea what that was. It's not even showing anything. It just did that to me. Okay, I'm not talking about this anymore. New subject. Apparently, somebody didn't like. But both of these subjects interest me, and again, it goes back to history. Our history. How long ago? When? How? What? All that stuff. That I wish. I know I'm not going to be alive when they finally figure most of this out. I wish I were, though, but it'd be amazing once we do get closer to the truth of our complete origins. Hey, Shaw.
So I have an observation that I've made in my 60 years walking around on this mortal coil, and that is that smart people tend to be interested in the same thing. I know that's very generalized, but
Right.
I can.
Well, my
Yeah, I
interest
agree.
in research comes out of looking for original technology. I was working on I had started working on a PhD in creation sciences, and I wanted to see how far back, and that's why I studied the Verdana, um, city of Dwarka stuff, the ancient Chi. That's why I was looking at all that different stuff. Um, Ran across the Mesopotamian stuff with the Anunnaki, studied that a lot. There's a lot of videos out now for the Anunnaki stuff too, talking about their stories and stuff like that. That's why I follow the Emerald tablets, and that's why
And don't get me wrong, Emerald. I mean, even though I haven't subscribed to that yet, that's it. It's very interesting, and there's a lot of stuff with the Emerald tablets and stuff like that that I can't explain.
yeah,
And so I mean, there's validity there. I got to. I want that. I want that definitive proof. You know what I mean? I want to be able to see it. I can make assumptions all day, my entire life and everything, but I want something that gives me that proof I can hold on to. That's if I can find one thing like that, whichever, like if it's Don's theory, my theory, your theory, and everything, if I can have that one piece that gives you something to hold on to with some sort of proof. That's what I want. That's what my goal is, I
whoa,
guess.
whoa, 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 whoa. So have you found that?
I no, no, I honestly I haven't. I found a lot of stuff that leads to more questions.
right.
That's about the same as what I've come up with too.
Okay. And it's frustrating, but it's still intriguing, you know?
Right.
You guys
So
see Colonel Shaw was here? My bad.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying Colonel Shaw was here.
Yep. So, but going back into it, it does seem that when you study the Indian Sanskrit and stuff like that, it does seem they had some serious, technology available to them, similar to what, we would think of in a sci-fi movie. You know what I'm saying? If you read those texts out and you start looking at some of these stories, they were energy weapons and floating platforms. You know what I'm saying? Ships that sailed in the sky, kind of thing. They even had the damn plans for how to build the levitation device. And the Asians, they had diagrams of particle accelerators, stuff like that in their
Oh,
drawings.
a lot of that stuff, yeah, and it's absolutely interesting, even biblical. The Vimana, who at that time would have been able to conceptualize a floating machine that can kick out protein loaded food to help them survive through the desert. So now we can with what we know now, we can visualize. Sometime we'll get to anti-gravity, but at that time that would have had to seem like magic. If so, I mean, just the thought of it, putting the thought out there, it makes you wonder, them talking about it, because would have that been something they would have been able to develop in their imagination at the time? So it makes you wonder if they truly did see something that gave them that.
Well, you know what? And I think that Hitler was onto that too. That's why he was after all that ancient knowledge. He was after the devices. He was after the information, and he started putting together some of this stuff. And like they talk about the bell, stuff like that.
Sure.
Things like that. He was putting together some weird, crazy science stuff.
I think there's a chance he was. I think he was also clinically insane, but I think
I wanted to point out the fact that he was clinically fucking insane. Just want to bring that up. Thank you.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but there was
an aspect.
There was an aspect there that he was able to draw other scientists through, whether that was through force or whatever. At the beginning, he would have had to have drawn other scientists into it, and that's probably how he learned to it. So there's other people that maybe weren't quite as insane that saw it, that maybe saw something. So I don't want to take away from that theory, but yeah, that dude was nuts. But,
well, I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent, but the purposes,
right.
Obviously were not of good intent. But
Right.
But what he was finding, and he was raiding these temples and stuff in Asia, who just drowned?
Oh, Middle East, big time. He was going through the Middle East, the cradle of life. I mean, they were all through there.
He was grabbing up artifacts and raiding temples for their ancient knowledge and all that stuff.
I'm sorry, I said the cradle of life, which is now considered in Africa, I guess, the cradle of civilization is what I should have said, because that would have been
Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mesopotamia, Babylon, the Levant, places where civilizations began. And I postulate there's some videos up there that postulate that those civilizations along the Euphrates and the Tigris, or between the Euphrates and the Tigris, sprouted up about 20,000 years ago, and are the predecessors of the Sumerias and the Mesopotamias of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, they estimate that the city of Eden, we would call Eden, is in the Red Sea, where the four rivers came together. They found the ancient riverbeds. Two of them no longer flow. And they meet up in the northern regions of the Red Sea.
I saw something on that was really interesting, and its levels, like around the time and everything, would have actually been
90 feet lower. Yep.
Yeah. And that goes, God, you got to imagine how much is underwater that we don't know about.
Everything.
It's insane.
Everything. Now, we were talking about this the other night.
I think about 20 to 50,000 years worth of shit is underwater.
Yep.
Right.
50,000 easy. Yeah. So, but if you look at the satellite maps where they show the continental shelves and the floor, some of the floor of the oceans and stuff like that, because I was doing a lot of that stuff with the Bimini and the Virgin Islands.
Yep, the Pearl Crescent. Right. Sorry,
But if you
Emerald, I
look
was
at those
just answering.
continental shelves, you can see the level of the water where it was for a long time before the waters rose. You can see
Right.
the edges of the continents as the water level came up. That those big shelves and stuff that are off the coast that are, and then it just drops off to the ocean bottoms. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. You can see a
Right.
lot of it because it'll even have where deltas and
And rivers cut into shelves. Exactly. You're absolutely right.
that's all
If you
down there.
look at the Black Sea,
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
that's a huge one. And there are many rivers and deltas that lead down a path into the water
and the
that
one
were
they don't talk
cut
about,
previous to that water being there. Go ahead.
correct. But the ones they don't talk about is the Mediterranean. Now we know there's a lot of stuff around Greece and there's a lot of stuff around the Moors, but what's down there, they have no clue.
Well, they do now. For instance, between Sicily and Italy, there is a place that is actually full of statues and what appear to be temple roads and smooth cut. Um, there are
Marble,
statues down there that used to be not underwater,
right?
that are literally 50 feet underwater now, between Sicily and Italy, between Sicily and Africa. And you can
Right.
see these mounts rise up in the Mediterranean Sea if you look at maps. Malta, bingo.
Bingo. Yep.
No, you're not out of your element, Carpenter. Why are you out of your element?
You made some good points on evolution and everything. Yeah, absolutely not out of
Just
your
right up
element.
in this bitch. You ought to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of places. And I really want to bring to attention Dogland, Dodgeland, that area between the UK, the island of the UK, and the mainland of Europe.
Yeah.
In the
Totally.
northern portions of that area, the the sea is very shallow. And what they're doing is they're finding where there were river deltas and civilizations within that, in those shallow Doggerland. That's what we're looking for. They're finding there were civilizations in there before the water came.
Right.
See?
They've got underwater archaeological proof now that there
Yep.
was town setups, and I mean even
People
city
live there.
setups. Right. And so, and I can't remember how you guys were talking about it the other day. What was that? How many how many hundred years ago was that would have been, or 1,000? Sorry,
13,000.
13,000.
The 13 to 15,000 is when people are speculating that the oceans rose 400 feet. And that 400 feet is literally what wiped out. There's two schools of thought that actually did happen, and the first school is that actually did happen, and that is the precursor to the flood myth, that Gilgamesh, that it originated through Gilgamesh and various blah 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 blah. There's a second theory that didn't actually happen, and that the flood myth only came from floods in the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. Um, and those floods came apparently later from a different event. I don't know about that.
So like a multi-stage flood?
Yeah,
Like
there were multiple
something?
stages. I'm familiar with the
Yes.
multiple stages.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
Yes.
the last one was like 100 feet rise. That's the one that sweltered the Black Sea and created the Mediterranean.
Right.
That's
Okay.
that's the one that's as far back as I went with it. But yeah, there was a 400-foot total. But the last one that did it was like 100-foot rise, and that's why there's so much stuff
There
90
is
feet below the surface.
there is concrete evidence in salt mines that the Mediterranean was flooded and drained hundreds of times
Mm-hmm. Over
because
the
there's
course of,
apparently a salt mine under the Mediterranean right now that they go in and take salt from, just like the big salt mine that sits under the Great Lakes right now. That's where 40% of the world's salt comes from, apparently, in the United States,
wow.
which basically proves that the Great Lakes were a big ocean before they were the Great Lakes. And they've got all those layers of salt. You get salt mines from oceans drying up and recreating and drying up and recreating over and over and over and over. So
Right.
we have some big salt mines over both in the Mediterranean, in the Caribbean, and in the Great Lakes area in the United States that I know of. Apparently, and I'm sure that there's other big salt mines, but that's how you get salt mines: is
Oceans drying up.
oceans drying up and repopulating, and drying up and repopulating, or re-aquifying, for lack of a better term.
There's areas up in Canada as well that are places where they mine copper. Somebody mined copper, and it was pre-colonialization, but the natives at the time were not at the level of being able to do like mass mining. They were more migratory at that time, the ones that were there. So there's also confusion on that, but there's no way, with a mine, geologically, there's no way to do carbon dating. So without a tool or a piece of wood off of a handle or something, there's really no way to carbon date it, but there was obvious physical signs of copper mining.
So, nickel and copper in Canada, there are a couple of different mines or areas that they're finding were just big meteors. Literally, those copper mines
Okay.
are where meteors hit and maintained or contained a massive amount of copper or iron or nickel. Diamonds. Diamonds. Apparently, two meteors hit in northern Canada, up in the Arctic, up in the frozen tundra kind of area. Now they haul a shit ton of diamonds out there. There's a massive nickel deposit around Newfoundland. What they're finding is they found a circle around the meteor that made that deposit of nickel. Same thing with copper and iron. They're finding that a lot of that in Canada has come from meteor deposits. Meteor deposits. Sorry, I'll
Wow.
shut up.
That's interesting.
That makes sense, because that would also give different cavities. With an impact like that would give cavities that could possibly make it look like mining was done.
They're now that they have the satellite stuff, they're seeing that there was a place in Ontario, and it was a 400-mile around circle, and within that circle there was 9 nickel mines.
Wow.
Nobody could figure out why there was such a huge concentration. Turns out they're all mining the same meteor in a big circle in Ontario.
Road size kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, Carpenter. Yeah, so it'd be the places where the meteor hit, so the meteor would have been carrying, because
So
and
yeah,
that's one thing
related to
about
where the meteors hit. That's it. Yep.
Tesla
Again,
right
that's not a
now.
fact, but it's just what it's an observation.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say Tesla. I should say Elon Musk right now is somewhat proving, which a lot of times I think what he does is questionable. I think, like any of us, more to for wealth than anything. But if you think about it, him pushing so hard to explore space and get the privatization of space and everything, there are so many rare minerals in just a single asteroid, whatever anything, all the comets and everything. There are so many minerals out there that if they get the first chance to start mining those, it's going to they will make the robber barons of our past look like look like they had pennies in comparison.
Right. Well, they got uranium. They got, what is it? Helium-3 on the moon. They know it exists in great quantity. There's huge quantities of helium-3 up there, and they say that the helium-3 is due to fission and anti-gravity.
Yeah, helium-3 is what they need for fusion. Yeah, nuclear fusion if they ever crack it, which some say they have. They just haven't put it out there. But if they ever crack fusion, I know that the most common thing is helium-3, and apparently the stardust on the moon is loaded with it.
Yep. Yes, it is. At least that's what they say.
I'll go back to
besides
that
that,
tag. Oh, my bad.
besides that, all the craters on the moon, locate the epicenter, do the suspect, or do the research to find out what hit it and where it is in the surface. Knowing that, you can find out all you need to know about what minerals it's made of, and you have your mind.
Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. Are you familiar with them?
skull, skull
I
tracer.
am not. I am not.
You are, actually. It's called
Oh,
3M.
oh, okay. Yes, I am. I buy a lot of
3M
3M.
over the last 100 years has made mining in northern Minnesota a full-time job, and they have taken very many rare earth, iron, steel, various nickels, um, and higher end metals um, out of the ground in northern Minnesota. They've found out that they've taken that out of the ground in northern Minnesota because it was or they suspect that it was a very huge meteor that puts all those chemicals in the ground in northern Minnesota.
Oh, okay. I got you. So they basically took lease of or ownership of the land that they think was impacted, and they're
They
mining.
just well, they didn't have the benefit of satellite vision when they started up these mines in, say, 1920, 1930, 1950, 1960.
Right.
But they've been mining northern Minnesota for 100 years. 3M has. They've been mining it using old techniques. In other words, if they want to find nickel, they look for nickel veins, they look for structures that are conducive to nickel, blah, 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 blah.
Do
Right.
core
None of them
samples,
knew.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. None of them knew that there's a fucking meteor there. They didn't know that. They just
Oh,
knew that there was some nickel there. So they started mining the nickel. And so when you look at the maps now of the mines that they have and other mines that exist in the same region, you begin to see a pattern. Does that make sense? They're starting to use those patterns to understand meteor hits and why there's so many diamonds in the cold tundra of northern Canada, or why there's so much nickel in Ontario. But it's only in Canada that they're beginning to realize this. But the thing is, that same gauge or vision or filter can be used in places all around the world now. Like,
Yep.
for instance, Russia. Imagine how many things hit the fucking tundra up there
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
shit.
that we don't know about. See where
Right.
I'm at?
Yep.
Or other places that are not cold places, could be warm places.
Well, if you think about it,
Um,
they've got the majority of the northernmost. I mean, they may not have the northernmost, but they got the majority of the northernmost thinner atmospheric areas that a lot of that's going to make it here on. So yeah, absolutely. Russia is probably loaded with a lot of
when you
that.
think about the higher and lower latitudes, those are the latitudes that are going to get hit by meteors because the meteors, the center of gravity tends to push away the meteor. And so the meteor will, trying to miss the Earth, it'll actually collide with the upper portions of the Earth
Agreed.
and do some damage.
That
That
and the thinner atmosphere, it doesn't burn up.
angular velocity, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. There's a higher angular velocity at the higher latitudes than there is at the lower latitudes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. So it's not going to go like a straight into the ground. It's going to go at an angle. Yeah.
Tunguska. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. How many other Tunguskas were there, and how many riches did they deposit in the world that nobody knows about that I can find? Now you guys are stepping into my proprietary future get rich quick program that I haven't quite figured out yet, but you don't need to know any
Now,
more about.
if you think on that, if we go to the literal polar opposite, Antarctica, and it's like literally on the tip. I mean, whereas on the north we don't have a landmass at the northernmost tip. On the south
So
we do.
imagine how much cool chemicals is in
Right. And
that I need to be go picking up. You know
uh-huh.
what?
As soon as at some point in time when a company gets any type of access to that, I would say invest in that company.
Carpenter's
Because
got
they
it
are
right
going
here.
to
I like this question. I like this. Have meteors hit the oceans, and if so, what's been formed out there? He's right.
kill the dinosaurs.
We
That
know
was
a little
cold.
bit about mapping the oceans, but we know nothing. Nothing. Literally about mapping. We know nothing. Comparatively speaking, the oceans have been the last place we're looking.
Right. We know more about space than we
We
do
do.
about our own ocean. The only one that I could definitively, not even definitively, that we speculate, because really that's what science is, and even a lot of our history is that.
By the way, all of this is a fucking speculation, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, by the way.
But we've got the one that, and I can't remember what they call the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, but it hit, they believe, in like basically the Gulf of Mexico, and that's the one that took out the dinosaurs. Pretty well, took out more than the dinosaurs.
That's the same one, exactly, Don. Yep, Don's on it. It's the Gulf of Mexico one.
Yeah.
They're finding that the center of that has a whole shit ton of mineral riches.
Yep.
Okay.
Lots
And I'm gonna do my 180 again. I gotta quit doing this, you guys. But since we're on the Gulf, have any of you seen the information when they were doing scanning for shipwrecks about that they found pyramidal shapes off of Cuba?
Mm-hmm. Off of the southwest, on the western edge, southwestern edge of Cuba. There's a whole plateau of
Yes.
structures.
And all of it is conveniently 250 to 300 feet underwater.
Correct.
like a lot of other stuff they're finding now.
Bingo.
And they're pyramid. And we got pyramid.
Yep.
See, that's the, geez. I mean, I don't know. It's that tells me that if that's true, say they really are pyramids, say it's not some type of glitch in their system and they're really pyramids down there, that would be the definitive proof that the ones in Egypt are older.
I
Or
don't
not
think so.
definitive, because it could be passed down. I mean, they could have seen them somewhere and recreated them, so I guess that's not even definitive.
So, I mean, you're thinking that pyramids came from the idea of a pyramid came from one place. And I kind of disagree with that whole theory. Because if you look at the Central American and South American, the Incas, the guys before that, they all built pyramids too. They weren't smooth and what is it? They weren't
They were step
star
pyramids.
reading or this, that, or the other thing, but they were big old piles of rock that kings used to step up on and sacrifice, people. So there were
Right.
pyramids, tall pyramids. My thinking on if you find pyramids in that space off of Cuba, my thinking is that was a bunch of dumbasses that didn't build the pyramids on high enough ground. It's really just that simple. My thinking is it's just my theory that people learned to build pyramids because they were afraid of floods.
They
Well,
were
guess
afraid of
what?
earthquakes. They built pyramids because they were afraid of earthquakes. That one of the structures that wouldn't collapse.
My thinking
What
is that they built it for pyramid. They built the pyramids to get up off the ground during a flood time. They've heard nothing but the worst in the fucking world is floods. Floods for passed down every civilization comes from a flood. Every one of them, or has one. And so, what best to try to get away from the flood or safeguard against the flood is to build a high place. Well, I mean, you build a high place on a high place that makes it that much higher. So, my thinking would be you don't build it 250 feet below sea level.
but would you really build something with a point on it, or would you build something with a plateau on it to where you could stand on it?
How else? So plateau is not part of my engineering prowess at this point in the program. And if, by the way, you're talking, and you ought to know better than this, you're not going to be able to build a plateau as high as you can build a pyramid.
You can build, you can widen the base and build a pyramid, like they did with the step pyramids, and then just kind of cut off the top. But you'd have to do a wider base, bring it in, so it would be a lot more material. So it would be
Right.
less feasible. But not that the
Right.
pyramids were really feasible even at the
We're only
time.
trying to save one guy, the king. We're not trying to
Oh, I
save
got
the
you.
masses. Fuck the masses. It's the
I see what
masses
you
we're
mean.
gonna kill. We're gonna kill 1,000,000 masses just to build a fucking 3 feet step for the king. That's the only guy we're gonna build a plateau for.
Right.
Think about
Oh,
it.
absolutely, Carpenter. The the
Sorry.
that's what bugs me is scientific theory is supposed to be based on theory. The most popular and best description that we from the information we have at the time. I know I butchered that definition, but you know what I mean. And when we got into everything being fact, that this is how it was fact, this is how it was fact, it didn't allow anybody to come up with new theories. And I
Yep.
think that's setting us behind. So they could be absolutely wrong. And I think on a lot of it, they probably are.
I still think the pyramids were machines. They were energy centers. Yep.
Okay. They could
I
be.
have, I
I
honestly
don't know what
have,
they were. I have
yeah,
no
I have
clue.
no
But
theory
I
what.
have some thinking that and here it is. And that's why I'm laying it out for you. This is my theory.
I think they show amazing ingenuity on how they were able to do it, how precise they were able to do it. Beyond that, I couldn't state a thing. I mean,
Okay.
to be honest, today I could have one theory. Tomorrow I could think of something else and be like, well, that
Well,
sounds
hold on a
better.
second.
So
Let Don finish. Let Don finish.
Oh
I
no,
want to
I'm
hear.
done. I'm done. I got
You
really
said you
enough
had a
much
theory
more. I mean,
about what the pyramids were.
the pyramids were just a simple reason to get up off the ground to save your ass during the
Oh, okay.
flood,
Okay. Yeah.
or not necessarily to save everybody's ass, to save the king's ass. Whoever the king or the ruler or the pharaoh or the
Mhm.
Ukanakan or the fucking Anunnaki or whoever the big kahuna is, the guy with the biggest nuts. That's the guy that gets saved. And everybody else
Welcome
builds a
in,
pyramid for him. So yeah, that's my theory. I'll shut up
no,
now.
okay.
I need a
I
fresh
thought,
drink.
but
hi,
yeah.
Marielle. Hi, Jason. Welcome in. Hi, Andreas. We got some new people popping in.
Well,
Jason, Muro, Dreas. Dreas, I know Dreas.
hey, Dreas, how you doing?
Dreas is Kay's friend, isn't he?
Yeah,
Oh, I got you.
which still
You
hasn't
know,
come up.
this this conversation might have bored a few, but in my opinion, this is probably the best conversation we've had for the longest period of time.
Right.
I like this conversation. I wish we could have more of.
We can have all these conversations you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
awesome. Let's
like
do it.
this. We're
Yep.
I can make this conversation because I know a little bit about it, and the only reason I know a little bit about it is because, well, YouTube.
Well, after studying what I've studied of Tesla and the radiant energy technologies and the all that kind of stuff that he went through, and then plus there was some of the guys that came through the archaeology stuff, and the videos and stuff that that they were machines or weapons or what have you. They used energy or projected energy or collected energy. And there's some truth to the geological formation itself. But uh, after studying Tesla, it does appear that these things were some kind of energy devices. It does make sense.
And I get that. And there's a high crystalline content within them, within the stones. So, and yeah, I get that. I get where you could come up with that theory.
Right. So,
Um, Don, you kind of, as a joke, said YouTube, but YouTube actually, a lot of those people putting those YouTube videos on are geologists or different scientists and
Yep,
everything
they're
that didn't get listened
professors,
to.
as a matter of fact. Yep,
Right.
professors
Yeah.
at Western University at fucking in Washington or Central Washington University, Utah University. You're right. They're
And
learned individuals.
and a lot of those times they will give you access in the description box of different published papers and different throughout
Oh,
history.
sure.
So
Yeah.
so
They got all
that stuff.
kind of
yep, yep.
Right.
different backing up. I mean, and that brings up one of my most recent, the thing that I'm digging the most recently, and that is the glacial Lake Missoula and Lake uh, uh, starts with a B. Lake something. What Utah used to be? What Salt Lake used to be? Um, what's the word? Somebody help me out here. It's a fucking lie, he says. Can't be a
Oh,
fucking
see,
lie.
I thought it was inland ocean, not or inland ocean, not a lake.
Okay,
Threshold.
inland ocean. What was
Yeah.
Bonneville? Lake
Yeah. Okay.
Bonneville.
Yep.
Lake
There we go.
Bonneville was Lake Bonneville, Lake Missoula, and apparently glacial. These are all glacial lakes that
Right.
were large bodies of water deposited by these glaciers behind these ice dams. And apparently, these ice dams formed hundreds of times, and so these places filled up and and violently rushed out, leaving massive holes, swirl holes, cuts, ripples that we're just now finding that is the exquisite farmland that is Western Washington. And so all of that sediment was brought down by these glaciers and this massive amount of water. And you can look at what one of the is the cool shit. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I have. Around Salt Lake City, there is what's called the Bathtub Ring of literally where the water line of Salt Lake used to be. And it is 600 feet up the mountain. You can see it as you go down Interstate 15 through Salt Lake City. Anyway, I think all of that shit is cool. That's my recent digging. I'm recently loving all of that, how much water was up there, how it scoured the land. Turns out the whole West, not just Washington, but literally the entire Western range, all the way down through Oregon and into Nevada, where I'm at now, and into Utah, was a big fucking volcano. So for the first 15 million years ago, this whole thing was spewing oozing lava, kind of like the hotspot over there. And you see all that in basalt lava formations in Washington, Oregon, and Nevada and Utah. And now you can see the basalt because the volcanic basalt is simply covered by dirt, and that dirt is being washed away. And so now we're seeing that volcanic basalt and understanding how that's formed those basins and ridges that I'm kind of digging here in the whole Nevada range, because there's a shit ton of volcanic. Apparently, all the rock around here was volcanic rock being spewed into the air. And literally, I've got these little, they look like coral brains, and they're round, round little balls of, I don't know, 6-inch. They're rocks, and they're round.
Nice. And
they were formed by volcanoes blowing this balsamic rock or rock out into the air, and the air forming these little droplets or round circles hitting the dirt, and now they're all over the fucking desert where I live. That's the cool thing here. So I mean, the geology. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
No. I didn't mean to interrupt. Actually, I'm enjoying this because I'm unfamiliar with this, so I'm enjoying listening to it. I do have one question: is the super volcano that was up by Washington, is that the one you said basically migrated and became Yellowstone?
What
or
we're
land
finding,
migrated?
It's a hotspot. It's called a mantle hotspot.
Okay.
And so it's a hotspot in the mantle of the Earth that the landmass of the United States has moved onto. So the tectonic plates have shifted so much that hotspot has, well, that's backwards. The hotspot has shifted from being off the coast of California to where it is now in Yosemite. But the way it has shifted has not been because the mantle has shifted. It's because the plates on top of it, i.e. the United States, have shifted. And so now the hotspot sits in Yosemite.
And gave a cavity for it to move. I got you.
That hotspot is not the same thing as the volcanic ridge that is the Cascade Range that has Mount Hood, Mount Shasta, Mount St. Helens, that are all active volcanoes, Rainier, that are all active volcanoes in that Cascade Range.
Yep.
That's not the same thing as this hotspot. Completely different animal.
I got you.
That's
Cool.
the result of ancient collisions between the Pacific and the North
That's the
Atlantic.
tectonic plate acting there. Exactly. That's the collision of the plates. So there's a lot of dynamics there that they're just, and then when you lay on top of that, the ice pressing down the ice sheets and how far south they came and how they pressed down on the mantle and on the crust and shifted even more of that, creating more pressure, therefore putting more water down there and creating more steam and more plume and blah, blah, blah. So,
no. Donald Mark.
But it's all incredibly interesting to me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just going to get into chat real quick. Donald Martineau just named several of them: Greek Fire, several different, pyramids, non-rusting pillar, Battery of Baghdad. There's so many things that are hard to explain, even in that area. And then you get beyond that, and holy cow, then they become almost impossible to explain.
Correct. That's
I'm not a big Darwin fan. I'm not absolutely sure Darwin knows what the fuck he's doing there, Carpenter.
No,
I think that there's a lot of things that we're not seeing. Although I give credence to his basic premise, but I don't think it applies evenly across the board. And I think Singh was saying that earlier.
And one of the things with I think Darwin, he despised religion, and he was a devout atheist. So he claimed, which I'll get into that. I don't think there's anything as a true atheist, but he didn't like it, and he took something that you can't deny, that everything does evolve. We evolve day to day. I mean, there's certain things to where, but we didn't. But he took it to an extreme to try to destroy religion, I believe. And it's just like they say climate change. We can't deny that there's climate change. The argument is if we caused it, and we did not cause it. I mean, there is climate change, but there's a natural thing. Now, of course, we affect it. Everything affects it, but do we affect it to a degree that it's harming us? I don't believe
less than 1%. Less than 1%. The U.S. I mean, when you look at the sheer fucking numbers of how many volcanoes have went off just in the last 100 years, we are less than 1% of any of that. Volcano, do you have how much carbon it puts in the air quickly?
Right.
Not over 100 years, over 20 hours. Bang.
Yeah.
It'll put millions and billions and tons of fucking carbon in the air. Sorry.
No. And
nobody wants to hear that argument. The fucking the liberals never want to hear that argument.
Oh, I thought you meant me. I was like, oh no, I absolutely agree.
No, the liberals never want to hear the volcano for the carbon thing. Oh, you're causing the carbon thing. You're smoking that weed is causing that carbon. Man, motherfuck you. You have no clue about the numbers of the carbon that goes into the atmosphere and then comes back out of the atmosphere. It's washed out of the atmosphere in rain, in precipitation. Yet another reason we have large amounts of precipitation.
Our oceans, our forests, our
oceans. We have cleansing mechanisms. We have fucking heat circles where the oceans move the water to filter the water. Sorry.
We have trees to filter the air.
I'll have to find it again, but there's a group of scientists that have been studying like the African deserts for quite a long time. They started taking satellite videos, and there's an actual greening effect happening with the higher concentrations of carbon because it's feeding that carbon into the ground, and the forested areas and stuff are starting to push back against the desert as opposed to vice versa, which is very uncommon. So carbon, plants survive off carbon. We're carbon-based life forms, for crying out loud. I mean, now
we can't survive without the plants. We can't survive on this planet without the plants.
Right. And in my opinion, we would have to take all the fuel we got, burn it within a few days to really cause what they're saying we're causing.
Look, when like the volcano argument, the volcanoes go off and they spew every week. They spew,
Gigatons of fucking shit. All exactly. Dreas has got it there nailed. The fucking just the volcanoes under the ocean. Think about it. That
right,
ridge that these tectonic plates, the
Right.
ridges
Constantly
that goes along,
bubbling up.
these are constantly 24/7, 365 spewing out gigatons. Just because it's underwater doesn't make it any less fucking carbon.
right, right. Well, you think about it. Like I used the Iceland volcano that erupted and shut down Europe for a week. Just the first week of its eruption produced more CO2, sulfur dioxide, and other
Yep.
greenhouse gases than all of mankind's complete
Than all of my
contribution over its
cigarette
existence.
smoking combined. Exactly. You're absolutely
Over the
right.
whole entire existence of humankind.
Or all
And
the
its
cow
contribution.
farts.
Yeah.
I like the cow fart. There should
The
be a
cow
gauge.
farts.
There should be a volcanic gauge of cow farts. There really should.
I think there should
One
be. I think there should
volcano
be.
equals 20 cow farts or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
And I think there should be a law that you have to pay a fine every time you fart because it's destroying the earth.
Yeah.
See, I would then I would call you a liberal. Healthcare or no healthcare at that point, you're trying to take my. Listen, this whole carbon thing, and I want to be real clear. This whole carbon thing is a fucking money grab.
Oh yeah.
This ain't nobody trying to do nothing. This ain't nobody trying to do nothing but for governments to define a new way to take your fucking money in taxes.
To take the production from.
Right. Yep. And anybody
Now
in chat that's new here that doesn't know me, that was a joke. Just for the record, that was my sarcasm. I just want to point that out for any newbies. Like, what the hell did I come into here?
Darwin's sister, who was so crazy from inbreeding that she could not be fed mushrooms. She would laugh so hysterically because she thought they looked like penises. Really?
Don't give the nutcases
I
any
think we
ideas.
should be feeding cows beans 24 hours a day. Skull,
Right.
dude, you're really on point tonight. You are. Absolutely on point.
Look at Carpenter's. He's yelling at me. He's like, don't give any of the nutcases
What
any
the
ideas.
fuck? Don't give him the nut. Exactly.
Don Martineau says
Right on, Carpenter.
sulfur dioxide was affecting the air quality from La Palma down in Florida.
Two dudes on both sides.
I knew Carp and Skull and Bruce and all them knew my humor, so I was safe there. And you guys,
are you funny?
Well, no, it's
you're funny. You're funny.
It's a horrible sense of humor. It's just I try.
It's dry. You'll make a Don Roth. You're funny, man.
But yeah, as for Darwinism, I if it made sense to me and it didn't have to me, there has to be special things implied that don't exist to be able to work out. And I can't wrap my head around it. So if it was believable, I would accept it, but I can't accept it because the fact that they're still there.
Dude, I never listened. I'd never thought about it like you presented it just a few minutes ago. You said basically that, if Darwinism was true, then the monkeys would have evolved alongside us, in parallel with us, at the same rate with us, or even devolved. But there's been no movement there. And that
Right.
that quote unquote missing link continues to be a missing link, continues to be missing.
And you can't fill it in on a whim.
Yep. So you really gave me food for thought there. I really like that because I
Cool.
never thought about that before.
And
That's cool.
and it could be, I've been told I just misinterpreted it, but when you read it, that's how it
No,
reads.
no. Well, it's kind of like gravity. If you're going to say it is something, it's a constant. If it's a fucking, evolution is a
Right,
thing,
right.
then it needs to
Bingo.
be consistent across the board, right?
Yep.
Gravity needs to be consistent across the board. And they're finding now that they have to make mathematical adjustments for gravity.
Yeah.
But they do that along defined lines now that they're still figuring out, which is time, weight, mass, those types of things. Anyway, I'm
Right.
stoned now, so
No,
Fire
actually,
in the
I was
bowl.
involved in recent history.
Fire in the bowl.
I like seeing other people's ideas around it. I really do. I like
I
hearing
do
other
too.
people's ideas around it. Carpenter, I loved listening to your ideas around it. Skull, your ideas are funny as fuck, by the way.
Yeah.
Don, you're right there. You and me, it's like I think we have the same brain, Don. Mr. Donald.
And Don has a
Don.
point, because in the 2,000 years or 2,500 years since the Roman Empire, there would be more of a difference between us and them if we choose to adopt that within a 12,000 year period, because that's a quarter, not a quarter, but close to a quarter, more like a fifth, I guess, of the timeline that they say that a lot of that development took place. So why isn't there more of a difference between us and that? So yeah. Anyways, I
Well,
won't get too
Skulljays has
deep
got
into
it.
that.
The leftards have devolved recently.
They have. Absolutely. I want to
Don,
see
you brought up,
more. I want to see more. I want to see more insight into sea level minus 400 feet
yeah, when they
everywhere.
come up
I
with the
want to see
radar that can
once
penetrate, that will
they
be
have
nice.
the LiDAR,
Really?
that whole side looking side scan sonar.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
had that for years.
True. It can penetrate through different densities and record different things. So yeah, you're right. Can it make it
That's what
through
found
that
those
type of
pyramids
depth?
off of.
Right. Okay, you got me. Yep.
They're finding those
Don,
more
you
and
were
more and more
talking
and
about it.
more.
You were
They're
talking
finding
about
them
an
more and more.
interesting thing in my head. You brought up gravity, that they're having to change a lot based upon gravity. And even if you think about like any modern scientist that questions relativity or anything, they get demolished because that's considered a fact. And even the
I know.
developer of that, Einstein, said that we cannot take everything as fact early in his career. Later in his career, there was some differences. I think the fame went to his head, maybe. But early in his career, he said, if we accept this as fact, then science loses. This is the best theory we have based on the
Well,
information we have.
he didn't say if we accept this as fact. He said
Right.
if we accept all theories as fact, then we will
Good point.
lose the scientific edge that we have so richly hewn in the scientific community. And so all theories should be treated as just that, theories.
Right. Yep.
The Darwin's theory, his theories, all the other theories. And at the time, there were a lot of theories, and there's still a lot of theories.
Right. Right. And see, you brought up gravity, and I think gravity alone puts into question, the simplicity of E equals MC squared. You've got energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. But that is based on an earthly thought with the gravity, with the G force that we have here. They say it's universal, E equals MC squared. But that calls into question in my mind, is it really universal? Because is that going to be effectual on Mars with what, a third of the gravity? Is that going to be effectual in zero atmo? Is that You see where I'm coming from?
I do. And that math applies across most of those. Where it may not apply is with gravitational lensing, for instance, uh, new methods of seeing across galaxies or across time places or spots in time using gravity. So I really don't know anything about that. That's way too, but I think it's cool as shit how they are using galaxies. They're literally curving light around galaxies to gain magnification across.
It's insane, right? The
Yeah.
the 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 now you want to talk about geniuses, the people that work together and come up with that is genius in my mind.
Well, that's where you
That
find out that gravity is just a descriptor for the effect of the electromagnetic field. Just
right.
Some of that I would actually agree with some of that. Because I believe that we have yet to fully distinguish the difference between gravity and its subcomponents and EMF and its subcomponents.
Yeah, I don't think
My
we
humble opinion.
properly defined gravity. I agree. I
I
don't think
think
we
gravity
properly
is just a
defined gravity.
descriptor of what happens within a EMF.
Does anybody want to join us in this little tete-a-tete here? I mean, I got a link here that I'd be happy to.
Miriam Carpenter Skull. Miriam, you like these
People are
conversations.
confused
I have
and
had
they
these
pay
conversations with
attention.
I actually got to go, but I want to stick around for the conversation. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy a little extra fuel on this one.
you. I've been pushing the limits. I gotta be up in about 5.5 hours. But this conversation kept going. I was
I
like, man,
got
I don't want to stop having.
I got nothing in the morning. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I got one meeting that I'm supposed to be at, but I could so easily blow off, which I'm probably going to.
And let me check
I,
out what my schedule is going to be tomorrow. Hold on a second.
I wish I could. I committed to helping deliver some cement, so I wish I
Well, then
could,
do what
but
you got to do,
you know how it
brother.
is.
That's
Yeah,
that's I
give your
do.
word,
I
you got to
do.
keep it. Yep.
Um, but I want to have I want us to have a Christmas party. Um, and
Right
I'm
on.
not saying we're breaking up or anything else, but I wanted to bring that subject up while we had some people here that might be interested in doing any of that or some of that or whatever of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Let's
it's
do that.
I'm
As
not
far as I
going
know,
out.
I have no schedule on Christmas Day. So
Seeing our
we're
big thing
Wednesday
is
is
actually
Salty Stream Day. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Salty. I am recently. I am a recent soldier of the Salty Army or a recent recruit. Way past my, but it is good. It is good convo. I do like what they're doing with gravity, and I do like. Um, I personally think we're hyping the Webb telescope a little too much. But I do believe that the future of radioscopy, or I do believe that the future of, let's see, observation is more multispectral than it is optical. For
I'm
those of
not
you that know what
familiar
the
with
fuck I'm talking about,
I'm not
that's
familiar with the Webb telescope. Could you explain it for me?
so the Webb telescope is going to be the new and improved Hubble, but it's going to be in the infrared spectrum, is where it will excel. Not just in the infrared, but also I think a few other spectrums, but specifically where it's supposed to lend its expertise is in the infrared spectrum, which, and if you know anything about the different spectrums, the optical spectrum that we've been using for our telescopes has literally hampered us because it only allows us to see things that, well, there's a lot of things we can't see because of the dust in the Milky Way system.
Right. His
So,
heat signatures are the infrared, and speed travel would be the ultraviolet.
along with radioscopes, what's microwave and X-ray
Neutronic.
radioscopy. In
Well, now
other
they're getting
words,
into the neutronic.
they're reading the X-ray background of the universe and seeing shit that we couldn't see in optical. The web will read the infrared spectrum of the universe. Yes, this stupid dusty galaxy, but we got a lot of dust between us and the places we're trying to see, and the infrared and the X-ray allow us to see through that dust to get a clearer picture out there. And so that's the web. The web is going to do the infrared portion of that, and some X-ray, if I understand correctly. Am I missing anything, chat?
I don't think so.
Donald posted a video. I'm actually screenshotting and saving.
New Space Telescope. Yeah, it's pretty cool shit, actually.
When were you planning on doing that Christmas party?
Christmas.
On Christmas. Okay.
Christmas Eve. Christmas
Well,
Eve, I'm thinking.
Christmas Eve is when my family does our thing. If you could
Okay.
do it Christmas or Christmas evening, I would actually
We'll
be
do
free
Christmas
then.
Eve and Christmas evening.
I think
Right
we can
on.
do it any and all of those. As
Okay.
long as we have time and we want to put the effort in, then we can do it just about any time.
Cool.
I'm
Sounds
in
good to
no. I don't think I have anything pressing. I think I have done all my Christmas shopping. I'm hoping the wife will be home by then. She'll be home in the next couple of hours. Not couple of hours, but tens of hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, because it's constant. Dust hides the short render distance of our simulation. Yep. No, dude, you're right. The dust, the okay, hey, what up, girl?
Dan.
Sorry, I've been having internet problems.
Damn,
I've
look at
been
you.
having
5
internet
minutes before it goes down. Whatever.
Sorry.
We've been talking about space this whole time.
Yeah.
Now we have a
Oh,
space
I'm
cadet.
space cadets.
Knew she was going to say it. And now we have a space cadet.
Oh.
No, I think even
man.
chat enjoyed that conversation. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, Don's a big fan of that stuff. We talked with
See,
him.
and I could hear it on my phone.
You could what?
I could hear the conversation for the most part. Like, I mean, it was chopping in and out, but I get way better signal on my phone. I guess we must be out of their fucking data. Pay $130 or something for just internet alone out here, and it's like 50 whatever. Anyway, apparently we're over because it's slow, but I got my hotspot running the computer, so maybe. To just get really quiet.
I must say, girl, you're looking absolutely ravishing.
I got to restart my browser. I'll be right back.
Thank you. I've been sick, so kind of like.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I just had a head cold yesterday, really bad. But I
Okay,
slept
Miriam
through it,
Carpenter
apparently.
Bruce. Everybody said hi.
Oh, shit. Let me try to get this thing to pull up the comments.
Miriam
Hi,
says, hey.
everybody. Damn it. Oh, there it goes. It's loading. And of course my lighter died.
Don, 650 gigs of data wouldn't even scratch the surface. Yeah, I'm with you.
Definitely.
I've used anywhere from 250 up through 450. 450 pretty regular, even on a wireless, even on a 4G connection, I can get 400 a month, 450 a month gig. So yeah, brother, I understand completely.
Yeah. Yeah, HughesNet. Don't ever fucking get HughesNet, but apparently that's all we can get out here.
Really? Where
And
is
then
that there?
after that, like, there's literally no.
That's right. You told me you were
on the New Mexico Colorado state line.
Yep. By the way, I love your
But
I love your gun. I love
thanks.
your gun, your word, your logo there. That's just badass. My wife made a very
I
nice
was messing
comment about.
with
She
it
says, "I love that
earlier.
gun on that girl's logo." That's beautiful.
Cool. Too cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones that I had copied, and as I was waiting for the internet to load, I started playing around with them and made my own.
I'm having to make internet out of thin air on 2 different cellular towers, plus a WiMAX connection from a local internet provider, and Starlink. So I'm trying to shove 4 different sources
Lovely.
of internet into one internet box.
Joy.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
I am trying to find.
We're not going to call it that, Don, but yes, it is. We're not going to say that word. Style weapon. We can say style, but yes, it is.
Oh.
I would call that a pretty accurate replication of a Dragonoff, but I don't really know much. Kay can tell us more about it, I'm sure.
It was a bunch of there was a bunch of different ones, and I didn't like the way that any of them looked. So I continuously played with it until I got my own. Let's see. I've got
Yep.
this one.
It's hot. It just is.
Let's see. Oh crap! I wonder here. You might have to repost them into the chat. There's this one's supposed to be AWP. What? Then there's a couple of different ones for you guys.
Dawn and Emerald worked
I'm
my
putting them in
brain
the
too
private
hard
chat.
tonight trying to keep up with them. Now I'm tired.
What? I thought you were taking point on this conversation most of the evening.
That was an awesome conversation. I'm hoping we could have some more. I'm really hoping we could pull Woody up here because I'd really like to get his outlook with his history degree. And I'm like you, I know he's listening.
Oh, yeah, he's back there making fun of us, laughing at us. Damn liberal. Damn liberal. What's the word I'm looking for? Educator. indoctrinating our children.
Oh man.
Man, he's still
Don't
not
get me
coming out.
started.
I think
I chew tinfoil for off-grid electric. Man, I don't know if I'd chew tinfoil for anything.
Donald,
Oh
yep.
fuck no. God, my teeth hurt just thinking about that. Ugh.
I am going to get
Cannot.
me some off-grid electricity, though, in the not-too-distant future, I'm promising you.
Oh yeah. I don't know. There's a couple of different ones. There we go.
I lost 2 solar panels in a recent storm.
Oh,
2 250-watt solar panels literally had rocks sling through them at
I
high
was just
speed.
gonna ask, are you enjoying the sandstorms over there?
Man, I got to tell you, and I think you know this, I get sand and fucking cracks that I didn't even know I had.
Yep. That's that part of the desert, man. It's pretty crazy, but it's also so
Miriam
beautiful
and
there. Like
Carpenter.
it's not your typical desert.
No, it's not. You're right. And I love it. And I'd have it no other way. And the house rocks, and I'm pleased with everything. And I couldn't be happier, honestly.
Miriam and Carpenter want you to call a fire in the bowl.
Fire in the mother freaking bowl. Brought to you by, hold on.
Sausage gravy biscuit
Nope,
farms.
this guy right here. Sausage Gravy Biscuit Farms.
.com.
This guy right here. Right here. This guy.
All right. I
Miriam.
don't know if you guys want to repost those into the chat for everybody so that they could grab those, but there's some different gun emojis for y'all.
Nice. I like that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Hey guys, I think
still
I
haven't
got a
gotten-
crash.
Okay. Don, friend.
oh, I see how it is.
Peter
Hey, you're
North,
late.
how the
I get up here
hell
finally.
are you, sir? Oh my
Hey,
God,
Peter.
we are. You have any idea how blessed we are to have Mr. North here?
Yeah, welcome back. It's been a while.
Hi, Mr.
It's Peter comes up and talks to us every once in a while. Mr. North comes up and sees us, talks to us. Love having him up here. He's one of us. He's a conservative, libertarian, good-looking, well-hung kind of guy. You know, he's a lot like me. A lot like me, right?
Right on, guys. Well, thank you for the conversation. And Kay, try to get up earlier tomorrow. We'll talk
Sing.
to you later.
I will.
Talk to you soon,
See
sir.
you. Have a good night.
You too. See you tomorrow.
What's up there? Good looking. Did you copy any of our early conversation, or you got anything you need to talk about
I
tonight?
caught a little bit. I caught a little bit of it, but I don't know. Are you guys touching on what was stated today?
No. What was stated today? Talk to me.
By the asshole in charge? Well, asshole
Now,
pretending to be in charge, being
yes. The
by
big
strings.
kahuna, the big guy, the number one man, the big Joe, the big perv. Is that who you're talking about? The not this guy?
Mhm.
Okay. What did he say? He
Yeah.
said a lot of shit. He always says a lot of shit.
Yeah, so it was interesting that he got angry there for a minute. kind of was a little bit taken aback by that. I was like, okay, apparently he's having a brain malfunction.
Gets a
But
fire hug, baby. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
um, yeah, I'm waiting for these camps to start taking place. I really do think it's going to happen.
Okay. Awesome. I hope it does.
I don't know. What's your opinion?
My opinion. I think that Uncle Don is going to come back around sometime in the next 2 to 4 years. At what level, I'm not real sure, but I know he's going to be a player. He's always been a player, by the way. I believe that I believe that the Build Back Butter, the Build Butter Back bill, the Build Back Boring, the Butter Boring bill will never see the light of day in its current form. I believe that. I believe that the Nancy Pelosi's and the horse face AOC are going to be continuously build back farther. That's it. I believe that the Nancy Pelosi's and the horseface AOC are going to continue to whine about Joe Manchin not giving them all the money that they want. And I hope that Joe can hold out until we can get the Senate and get some new leadership into the Senate, where we can get fucking that Mitch McConnell communist out of there. And
So you've got hope for
I have hope.
everything.
Yes, ma'am. But I got things I got to do before all of that happens. I mean, in the next 30 days, I got to close on 2 houses. Selling one, buying one, refinancing half of them. Yeah. Yeah, I hate that shit. Fucking hate it.
Yeah. I have been, again, I tend to do this to myself. I just get in this mode where I really don't see a coming back from this.
Oh my God, I do. Do you not see here's what's happening. Right now, what's happening is every time Joe opens his mouth, he fucks something up.
True.
And that something is generally seen by everyone and fucked up to the same level for Democrats as it is for Republicans. And so we're benefiting, the conservatives, the Republicans are benefiting in eyeballs, mindset, votes. And we're seeing it in places where we are installing mayors, local people, governors, for instance. We've actually had some successes there. On top of that, I really do want to point out the Supreme Court is kind of destined to come around to see it our way on a couple of Second Amendment cases, and maybe even some abortion cases. So I think there's hope across the board. I think that Kyle Rittenhouse should never have gone to trial, but now that he has established our right to put holes in Antifa and BLM fuckers, then I'm just 100% behind that, if you know what I mean. Are you suggesting an AR, Bruce? You probably are suggesting an AR, Bruce. An AR is not a bad place to be right now. It's not a bad plan to have, if you know what I'm saying. Kyle Rittenhouse proved that AR is the greatest. You know what? The fact that Kyle Rittenhouse got off and maintained our right to defend ourselves should add $500 to the value of every AR-15 on the planet. I'll let that sink in for just a second.
And more than that for an AR-10.
Huh.
I think
More than that. No.
a little bit
No.
more than that for an AR-10.
Kyle didn't use an AR-10.
Well, right.
Kyle
But I'm
used
just
an
saying.
AR-15.
Yeah.
AR-15. AR-15 for the win. There's more AR-15s in service today, in circulation. There's, you know what? Every gun owner could have one AR-15 for every finger on his hand, and it would still not equal all the guns in circulation today, all the AR-15s in circulation today.
Right.
Did you know that in the last 12 months alone, the FBI has shoved 8.7 million applications through NICSI? NICSI is the National Criminal Index something. Basically, it's the database that everything's got to go through, or for your gun purchase, your background check that has to go through. So yeah, 195 countries in the world. Yep. Okay. 3 million guns, 1 million citizens. See? I'm telling you, there's more guns out there than there are fingers on fucking gun owners' hands. I actually know that because I have 2 ARs, 1 Mini 14, and soon to have 1 M1A.
Nice.
Along with various other handguns and shotguns.
A Garand?
I'm going to have a Garand, yes, sir.
Awesome. Put it side by side with my 303.
Jealous. What was that?
I've always been wanting to put one side by side with my 303 to compare the two.
Oh yeah.
I just want a Garand. I just want an M1A Garand for its military history. I really do.
Well, I bought the 303 from a buddy of mine. Needed some money to fix his truck. Sold it to me for $200. That 303 I got. Yeah.
Nice. Unfortunately, I have pretty much sold all of my artillery. Trying to make it in the last freaking year and a half, 2 years.
I feel you.
Which is sad because
I've
I
sold
have a
guns.
policy of never sell a gun unless I was replacing it.
I sold an Uzi as an investment. And I bought it as an investment. I actually bought an Uzi for, what did I pay for it? $2,400. As a part of a group buy years ago. That same Uzi, I sold it to the owner of the range where we bought the group buy. He was going around buying up everybody's Uzis at whatever price he could get them for. I held out for $10,000. So on a $2,400 investment, I made $10,000. Well, what? $7,600 over the span of, I don't know, what, 5 years, maybe.
Wow.
I should have kept the Uzi. I should have bought 2 of them. Never should have sold that. You can't buy that gun today at twice that price. You can't buy that gun today for $20,000. You can't. I tried.
You know what? You know that candle I've made I've had it burning since 1201 on the 17th.
Is it still going?
Wow.
It's got about 3.5 inches still to go at the bottom of the vase.
Dude, that's awesome.
So
That
that's
is awesome.
that's 5 days so far, and it looks to have another 3 days on it, maybe 4. And it's doing a good job. These 20-degree nights we've been having, it keeps that front room about 15 degrees warmer than outside, which is great. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it easier it makes it easier. I haven't had, now last year I had to bring out the torch on 20-degree nights. You know what I'm saying? I have a roofing torch that I use for heating. You know that. But yeah, I haven't had to bring it out and expend that fuel to heat this room up. I just put on a second burner for my hot cocoa, and that seems to make it all good. Holy cow, Prince! Hush! Stop it! Go to sleep.
So I've noticed since we got raided earlier,
Yeah,
we were actually, the StreamYard said that we were actually at some 32 different users at one time.
yeah.
And we had come down to about 17 viewers. And now we are at 14 viewers, and it hasn't went below 14. It's bounced between 14 and 17 viewers on a pretty regular basis.
So that means we're about probably somewhere around 20, actually.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like there's definitely some lurkers out there that are interested in what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, yep.
Although I don't know why. None of
A
this
lot
is
of
even.
information passing out, man. A lot of information going through here.
What? How? What? We're just talking about shit. We're just talking about YouTube videos is all we're talking about.
Oh, right.
Nothing really fancy. Nothing to see here.
Ow.
Don't mind the whiz behind the screen.
Where did it go? That was a cool one too.
Of course, it doesn't hurt to have 3. I got 2 puppies and a dog the size of Godzilla. You know what I'm saying, in here this year too now. So that helps a little bit. Little heaters.
Billboarding butter. God, I like that. Billboarding butter. That's the big B, the 3B.
Yeah, that I heard that earlier the other day was they got a new name for it. Build Back Broke.
Build broke better. Yes. There's a bunch of there's a whole shitload of 3B 3B nomenclature that's going around for the build back butter that's never going to see the light of day. I'm telling you, that's
Right.
3.6 billion, trillion, gazillion, of my dollars that they're going to take directly from me. Every one of them are my dollars.
Yeah.
Me. I'm
Well, get
paying
this.
for all of that motherfucker. All of it.
You realize what? Let's just say, not counting the elections in 2024 and what's going to happen there. If Manchin switches sides to become a Republican, Schumer's no longer necessary.
Schumer's no longer the man. You're
That's right.
absolutely right. If Manchin changes sides, which he won't do, his Democratic Party machine that has kept him elected to the Senate in the state of West Virginia for the last 5,000 years
Right.
is not going to let him go anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. But if they
Telling you.
pressure him enough, man, he's talked. He's definitely got the invites, and there's a lot of talk that way.
You're right. He could, but he won't.
Because the White House outright, from what he's saying, the White House outright disrespected him and threatened him.
Yeah.
Badly.
And all of that communist and socialist crew from fucking one end to the other has come out publicly and called him a scumbag.
Yep.
And every kind of son of a bitch.
They've talked about kicking him out of the Democrat Party.
You know what? I'm sure that you know what? I don't even want. I can't.
I know.
I can't discuss that kind of shit. And now, see, that's where I get all explosive and everything, because now they're talking really stupid shit.
Right.
They're just talking stupid shit. Nothing is ever going to come of it. Nothing.
I know.
All right, I need to go fresh a drink. Where the fuck did he? And he gets the fuck up and goes away. You cocksucking piece of shit.
I'm right here.
Fuck you.
I'm right here.
Okay, I'm not. I'm going over here and get a donut and I'll come back.
Right. It's okay. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Nothing. I'm wondering. I don't know if you heard what I was asking Dawn earlier, but I worry about where we're going, especially when you got Biden up there pretty much threatening everybody, and you have the fucking new elected. Oh, that's right, she wasn't elected.
Right.
Fucking bitch of New York saying, what is it? They're going to put it to vote on the 5th. What is that? They're going to be detaining people indefinitely for not getting the jab.
Well, yeah, there's some kind of thing about that. I don't even think it'll pass in.
Oh, that's it.
I don't even think it'll pass in New York or California. There's one in California too.
Yeah, I don't put it past them to fucking do it. Places like Australia are already doing it.
Well, it's definitely in the scope. It's definitely in the scope of what they wanted. I said it's definitely in the scope of what they want to do.
Well, yeah. Shit, I thought we were going to be China 2.0, but it looks like we might be Nazi Germany. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about it. There's also I was listening to this woman who is a doctor, and she was talking about what the plan is and why they did the 3 pokes, you know, and that there's 3 more boosters coming out. And she went into great depth on what the first one was, what the second one was, and the booster, and what it does to the body. And then talking about the trials with the animals and how literally 0% made it past 2 years. I don't know. And I know a lot of people that have gotten it, and it scares me. But if anybody needs to get the card, I do still have the card. Without getting it. And there we go. Put it in my thingy. And you just email me. I put my name as my email. And I can send the PDF for anybody that wants it. But you do have to actually pay attention to the instructions on it. I almost fucked up my last card. Because I did, you know, I got Moderna. But I didn't realize that they had already came out with another batch and that it was already time for the next one. And yeah, I almost had missed one apparently and almost wasn't able to get into that concert. But it worked. And you have to just pay attention to like the amount of numbers. It's pretty simple if you actually read the instructions, but you'd be surprised how many people have had email me back asking pretty much questions that were already answered in the PDF. Did it get quiet? I agree, Carpenter. I just worry. I saw another thing the other day about something a kindergartner had been doing to kids' magazines. And I don't know, had anybody seen this video? Little boy was drawing masks on everybody that was in the magazines because he's so conditioned to think that that's what's normal. I don't know. It's scary. I worry about the kids and what this is going to do later on down the road. And what kind of children we're going to be rearing. I don't know. Are you muted, Wiz? I know Dawn is, but it's quiet. Huh. I have no sound. Damn it. Apparently I need to refresh. Either that or you guys are fucking with me.
Wiz is fucking with you. I'm not.
Dick. Okay, he's not fucking with me. Because I saw. Okay, I gotta refresh then because I have no sound on Wiz. All right.
I have no sound on Wiz either. So Wiz is fucked up. Wonderful. Me and my sandwich. There she is. So the problem was always Wiz.
Uh-uh. Okay. Oh, where'd Wiz go now?
He's coming.
Oh, okay.
Is that better?
Finally.
Yeah.
Jesus, who farted? Was that you, Wiz?
No, must have been a dog.
Man. Oh, my eyes are burning.
Geolocate those dogs.
What was that?
I says, I just, normally when I spell that, I'm like, oh my God, it's puppy farts.
Right? I know this dog's been over here snoring all night. He's been enjoying himself for certain.
Well,
What the fuck?
I got just a little bit left here. I'm going to go ahead and I'll head out here at the bottom of the hour.
Well, I think I'm going to join you at the bottom of the hour if you don't mind. We've got a pretty consistent crew up in here tonight of, 12 to 14 people on a pretty regular basis. At least that's
There
what
you
the
go.
number up here says.
Right.
All of those
Been a good
come
night.
through, most of those come through the game on Twitch, which has been pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Forget it. I'm having a brain
Martineau?
fart.
Don Martineau. Yeah, make sure you got
No,
our Twitch channel. Do you have our Twitch channel too?
Ow. I have that link that I think I put all of your guys' links in it. Hold on. That online note.
Right.
Hold on. The game.
Good. Good.
There we go. That's got a shit ton of your links and all the other shit. It's got your like PayPal and all that in there. What's that?
Did you also have the
I put it.
Canoes to the Moons channel?
Oh, you know
You
what? I
got
need to
Canoes
add that
channel
one in
too?
there. I have it on my. I'm subscribed, but I need to update this note. That note that I just posted
Right.
in the private chat.
And you got the Wizard of Osmo channel on Twitch.
Oh no, I do have it. I do have it on there.
Okay.
I got the Thick Pat, the game, and Canoes to the Moon, Emerald City, Wizard of Oz,
Yep.
and then the PayPal. And then there's some different
There's 2 Twitch channels.
fonts in there for you guys.
Yeah, there's 2 Twitch channels.
I don't have the Twitch channel. If you want to put them in the back chat, I'll add them onto that note, though.
Okay. Yeah, let me.
Or you can send them to me later or whatever in an email or
That's
whatever,
all
and I
good. I
can
got you.
add them.
I'll put them on private chat.
Also, if you when you click on that link there, that's completely editable by the one that I posted in the
An
back
ASCII
chat.
editor. Yes, ma'am.
Yep, you can edit it at any time. All right. There's Twitch.
And there's the other one.
Okay.
The hell is he doing? I don't know what I'm going to
What's
do with that, John. He's in and out and in and out. He's like a squeeze box. Sorry. Uncle
Right.
Whiz, Squeeze Whiz. Bruce,
There we go.
always a pleasure, sir.
Oh, that's weird.
What's weird?
What's that?
Oh, I knew that. Colonel Zachary C. Smouse arriving. Ding.
Hi.
What's happening, brother?
Just so you know, I haven't responded to anybody on Messenger. I saw that there's something in there from you. And I was actually meaning on calling you today. I slept all day yesterday because I was so sick. Or was that day before yesterday? I don't even know.
Don't let her give you that horse shit. She's been avoiding you since fucking 1967.
Ah, whatever.
I'm
Let's
telling you.
go, Zach.
Lies. It's all lies. It's like my wife. I tell my wife, I say, I love you, honey. I really do. She says, lies. It's all lies. It's all lies. You don't love me at all. Okay. Jason. He said Zach. I'm sorry. Zach.
What's up, Zach?
What's up, brother? How you doing? Do you feel as good as I look? Because you must be awesome, man.
You see my name now, Zach?
Wiz, what did Singh say the other day? Zach would break his fingers trying to get up here if he when he sees Kay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't say that, but so how the fuck you been, brother? How's the world treating you? See,
I missed you, Zach.
now with the people come out. When Zach comes out, the people come out and say, hey, Zach, all the lurkers come out. Look, Jason and Shadow, they're all fucking lurking until Zach comes out.
Right.
Popular son of a bitch, dude. I tell you what, must be nice. Got all the honeys and all the money.
Right.
Oh. Ripping out my hair here. I'm freaking sick of this poof ball. I'm straightening it tomorrow.
Just 1 in 100 people having issues from the jab. Oh my God. They got it down to 1% now? Is that what you're telling me? So if you're gonna
That's
jab a
until you
billion
get the
people,
second
only a million of them are gonna die? Oh fuck. What well I need those odds. Give me that right now. Fuck that.
And then in this country, that means 3.5 million people need to die.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Dude, I am a perfectly healthy old guy. Okay? Perfectly healthy old guy. That I don't need any kind of well, you don't need to give me any kind of weird shit. Really.
Right.
I don't need it. I'm good.
Right. It just seems to me everything man-made we put in our body seems to kill us a little bit faster than the natural shit that we utilize. So I'm done with the man-made shit. So go ahead, Zach.
I'm okay. I've just been worrying about this girl.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Just been going through the motions.
Those damned emotions.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
See, I don't really know where to go on this. Go ahead, Zachary. You got something else to say?
No.
Okay.
Hey, Zach,
I
how
don't
did
really
this
know where to
zombie
go
thing
on
go
this.
with your neighbor? Did you do the zombie thing on your neighbor?
Oh, the neighbor's just gonna be.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. You should go do the zombie thing with your neighbor. Just like, go fuck with his head.
I'm the same way, Don. I don't take pills because I ain't sick. I mean, I don't need to get sick for anyway. I'm not sick. I don't need the jab. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, we're
Sorry.
self-isolating.
Sure, I'll self isolate. I'll do whatever the fuck. I don't need to be around people. People are not my favorite fucking species on the planet, to be honest with you. They're just not.
Right.
Right now, my dogs are the best species going. People are fucking running a close second or third.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Zach.
Guess what, Kay? Dad is sentenced to trial starting in March.
What?
Guess what, Kay?
what?
Dad is sentenced to trial starting in March.
For what?
For the dog? Over the dog?
Yeah, about the dog.
The fucking asshole shot the dog. And he's taking you guys to court? Ugh. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Dude, I ain't never heard of none of that shit. Apparently, I don't
It's
know the
insane.
story.
And the dog is not freaking. I mean, the dog was definitely not hurting the animals. If anything, it was playing with it. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like my new name?
There is a particular place in hell for pet abusers, animal abusers. After I'm done beating the shit out of them, there is a particular place in hell for them.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't been through Zach's town since this has happened, but I don't know that I could go to his house without stopping at his neighbor's.
So any hoot and scoot. Americans 1845 is fentanyl overdose. Really?
Yeah,
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff. Yeah, tainted medicines, tainted drugs.
Well, El Chapo said he was sending the Blue Devil, and that's exactly what he did. Sending the blue pills over here, which are fentanyl.
So are you aware that pretty much all fentanyl pills are sourced through China? All of the ingredients to all the major ingredients are sourced through China and are sold from China to Mexico.
Right.
Um,
Interesting.
the
I've heard that.
the
know that.
fentanyl scourge on our country right now is a direct attack from the Chinese via Mexico. I'm not kidding you.
Right.
They're sending all that fucking fentanyl. The number one guy, the guy that sends all the fentanyl into Mexico is a Chinese guy. He's wanted on there. There's a $5 million fucking price on his head on Interpol.
Wow.
It's not a coincidence. It's a fact. It is an assault, an attack. It is an invasion on our country by the Chinese, by the CCP. It is funded and fucking, it is a funded and directed operation from the People's Liberation Army, the PLA.
Zach, did you have something you were going to say?
Sorry, I'll shut up.
He shot me 5 times, according to the report.
Oh.
What? What's this? Oh, I'll tell me it later, I guess. I want to know this asshole's name. What day did you say the trial starts?
I think March 9th.
Okay. Well, if I can make it, I'd like to be there for it. If that's okay with your dad.
Where'd Don go? Why did that? Don? Oh, shit.
Don! Don!
Probably just hit the wrong button. He'll be back, I hope. Now, I thought Zach was going to say something on the conversation, not the old, not that, right? But yeah, that's all fucked up.
It is. It's so messed up.
Just another reason to have that damn wall and to get rid of the CIA.
Huh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Yeah.
Are
you? Yeah.
All right. Is Dangerous still on?
Is who?
Shit. I think Dangerous is still on. I don't think I have a wrench, but I don't know if you want to send everybody that's left over to. Oh, look, he is still on. If I put this in the back chat, will you post it?
Sure.
Shit. Oh my god, this fucking computer. You hear the processors all. Alright, it's right there. Yeah, Dangerous Freedom's still alive. So we'll probably head over there for a minute. Okay, I got this fucking heater too close to my damn legs. All right.
All right, here's the link that she's talking about. If you guys want to stay up and continue conversation. I think Don is gone for the night, and I'm pretty much. I gotta sit down. I'm on generator time. So, God bless you all. Thank you for hanging out with us, coming
God
up,
bless.
and finally getting up here. And it was an hour and 12 minutes. I had the K timer
Oh
running.
my god. I knew I wasn't gonna get away with it. I thought I almost did though, damn. I was like, they didn't tell me how long it took to get in.
Yeah,
All right.
that was the non-disclosure
Okay, fair
time.
enough.
Right. I'm coming. That was when I started it. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Just remember,
Well,
we're gonna win this shit. We're gonna beat these bastards, and we know how the story ends. Have faith. God is in control. All you got to do is do what you're supposed to be doing, and do the best you can at it. God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow night.
night, guys. See you at Dangerous Freedoms.
All right, guys.